형 조심해. 야 멋있다 역시.
오늘 컨디션 어때요?
오늘 컨디션이요? Not bad.
오늘 촬영 잘할 수 있을 것 같아요?
오늘 촬영이요? 10몇 년 했는데 잘해야죠.
안녕하세요.
티어리스트를 합니다. 12개 티어리스트.
뭐 실력 티어리스트?
네, 실력 티어리스트.
그냥 그날 컨디션에 따라서 누가 그런 생각이 나요. 진짜로. 네.
80.
이거 어떻게 이렇게?
트리거는
그거
한국에 왔어?
감사할게요.
언제 왔어?
두 번째 봤죠. 안 한 줄 알았지. 나 도호 형 잘하는데. 걸려버려.
나 얼마나 걸릴지 몰라서 나 이거 오늘 진짜 열심히 하시는데?
왜? 너도 싫을 거야.
자기는 메이크업하고 난 메이크업 안 했어. 진짜. 그리고 이렇게 해야죠. 구글용은 위에서 아래로 이렇게 해서요. 컵을 내고 위에서 아래로 이렇게 찍으라고 하니까지.
기분 좋아요, 오랜만에 머리 만지니까.
그것보다 오랜만에 사람 만났어.
오늘 뭐 준비해온 포즈 있어요, 혹시?
포즈처럼 너무 오랜만이라서. 근데 하나 생각한 거 있는데 포즈는 아니고
네.
겉옷 오너 선수 알죠?
네.
오너 선수 겉옷을 안 입잖아요. 벌충 옷은.
네.
그거 한번 해보실 거예요. 멋있더라고요. 그래서 겉옷 가져왔거든요.
지금 포즈가 너무 밝은 것 같아서.
이거 안 된다. 이거 포즈 아무도 못하게 해주시면 안 돼요. 내 포즈다 이거.
오너도 포즈다.
이야, 이건 너무 아저씨같네. 아저씨 어떻게 하지 마시다.
기분 좋아요?
네?
오랜만에 보니까 기분 좋아요?
GSL 진짜 오랜만이라서 살이 쪘죠.
많이 발전했네요. 요즘 어떻게 지내세요?
최근에 GSL 예상 뚫으려고 좀 연습 좀 열심히 했고 뚫고서는 되게 신나가지고 간만에 맛있는 거 먹고
비슷하게. 조금씩 움직여주셔도 돼요.
네, 좀 어두워지셨는데?
러닝하셔도 그래요? 고생해가지고.
근데 어떻게 지내세요?
저 그냥 요새 일하면서 이게임입니다. 너무 방송하는 거. 방송하는 거? 방송. 왜? 이거
야 멋있다 역시 기대해보겠습니다. 미국합이 좀 그래가지고 좋아
진짜요?
저 보고 있어. 이거 뭐 냉정하게 해야 되겠다.
냉정하잖아.
사람도 알잖아. 잘할 때로 해야지. 잘할 때 신나야지.
티어리스트 지금 생각한 사람 있어요?
그거 해야 돼요?
해야 돼요, 무조건.
저 따라하는 건가요? 저희 컴퓨터였는데.
그래요?
오랜만에 이렇게 인사드릴 수 있어서 너무 기분이 좋고 이번 연도 GSL도
좋은 경기력으로 보답할 수 있도록
많이 응원해 주셨으면 좋겠고
오랜만에 오프라인 무대에서 이렇게 팬분들 만났으면 좋겠습니다. 많은 응원 부탁드리겠습니다.
GSL 때 봬요.
빠이.
Incoming transmission.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the GSL. We're on week 2 right now after an incredible week 1 of games.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, Tasteless. Last week we wrapped up the round of 12. Now it's time for the round of 8. We're going to be deciding the top 4 players in this season of GSL to go to the offline finals, and we have a stacked group lined up today.
Yeah, and we should remind everybody that while this broadcast is online, the actual final day of the event will have an audience, so you will be able to come down and join us there. You can see the schedule down here below. We also have information on screen about the qualifiers, which anybody can play in, so feel free to sign up.
Global Online Qualifiers, so make sure you check that out. We'd love to see some more international faces here in the GSL.
Yeah, Yeah, and that's going to be like right around the corner. What is that, May 11th? So it's like
Application
about a
period
week.
is basically open right now,
Yeah,
May 4th and May 9th KST. So make sure you sign up if you want to participate in those online qualifiers for the GSL Season 2. And honestly, Tasteless, I'm just happy to be back here.
It's good to be back. So yeah, Season 2 is going to be starting right away. I mean, there's like so much StarCraft going on right now. I'm doing ASL, GSL, RSLs
All
going
the
on.
SLs.
All the SLs are happening at once. It's a good time to be a caster. I'm staying super busy here. But today, we've got a pretty epic group here. By the way, before we get into that, here is the information if you want to join us. It's in the same studio that we always have it. It's at Samsung Station at the Freak Up Studio. Come down, State and I will be casting it up for you guys.
Right outside exit 1, you can see right there the information on your screen. You can go to ticketlink.com. It's 15,000 won. I want to say it's around $10 US right now. So really some bang for your buck if you want to show up and watch offline StarCraft. You know, the current state of StarCraft 2, we don't really get that much in terms of offline events. And so to be able to have an event like this one live in Korea, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so come down, check it out. You know, GSL, the longest standing esports tournament that's out there. It's, you know, seasonal like what we've got here. It's going to be fun to be back down there in the studio. I can't wait to see you guys. And it's just around the corner. You know, it is kind of funny with this setup they've got for GSL. It's like group for 2 weeks, and then bam, semifinals and finals all right there. So it's going to be a pretty long day as well. We'll probably be starting a little bit earlier. They'll probably have more information for us by tomorrow about that. If you want to support the GSL Codes, or just GSL, I guess I'm still calling it Codes. If you want to support the GSL, you can do so either via Patreon or on SOOP, whatever makes sense to you. We have basic tiers. There's high. It depends on whatever you can give if you're in a position to give.
Yeah, and some of those nice perks. GSL replays, your name of the ending credits if you go for that code S, and whatever you want to give here for the GSL, because your support makes tournaments like this possible. As we see the crowdfunding goals and pledges here for 2026. We reached $6,000 a month at GSL CK. It's an online event. It's like a team league between 2 players, or I should say like 8 players or whatever it is.
Right.
That'll be happening every single month. 10K, we get GSL Season 3, 15K, and expanded GSL Season 3. Your support makes tournaments like this possible.
Yeah, so, you know, we'll see where we get. I'm always optimistic with stuff like this, but consider supporting the tournament. Everybody here at GSL would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take a look here at the total amount.
We have
donation.
a correction to make here. We thought we were over 6,000. We're actually just shy of it. I think we showed 6,000 something last time.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Guys, math is hard.
It is.
So we're here to own that math is hard. So anyways, that's where we're at for now.
Yeah, we got the abacus out. We double-checked it. 5,912. But hopefully by the end of today, Tasteless, it'll be a little bit higher.
We put it in the AI. We said we can't figure this out on our own. We'll outsource this.
Give it a ChatGPT.
Yeah,
that's why the first estimate was wrong.
That's right. We asked ChatGPT the first time, and it said, here it is. Then we went, you got it wrong. And they went, you're right. I was wrong. Sorry about that.
Oh, man. Anyway, folks, we sincerely appreciate your support here at the GSL. And as Tasteless said, whether it be on SOOP or on Patreon, feel free to contribute whichever way is easiest for you as we take a look at the matchup today. And this is kind of a dream lineup. I can't remember the last time we had a group as stacked as this. Classic, Cure, Rogue, and Maru. I did some quick maths on the train coming in here. I think there's 15 GSL Codes titles between these players now.
Yeah.
I didn't double check it, so I might be off by like 1 or 2, but
I ran it through ChatGPT, and that's what it said. But I don't know for sure. I mean, it gets everything wrong most of the time anyway. So.
It's a ridiculously stacked lineup. I mean, Classic, Cure, Rogue, and Maru. I would say if you look at the last 4 or 5 years of StarCraft 2 history, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these players in any GSL Codes finals. They've just all been consistently so good for so long. It's going to be a pretty epic day. Tomorrow, we're going to be having another group. We're going to eventually decide the top 4 here at the GSL, but today, man.
Dude, this is such a good group. I think you literally, at least with a Korean lineup, could not get a better group than this. Classic, Cure, Rogue, and Maru. We've got the very best of the very best, and I honestly have no idea who gets out of here. If I had to pick one, I think Classic. He's just been playing so well lately.
Yeah, Classic had a really strong 2025. It's been a little bit slow of a start for him here in 2026, but he's starting to get those results together now. Classic always looking formidable, but honestly, I was really impressed with the way that Rogue played last week, especially with his interview, the way he described, you know, the GSL style format, especially here in the group stage. You have 1 week before your next opponent.
Right.
He was able to devise some pretty devilish aggressive builds.
This is what I like about tournaments like, you know, GSL and what we're doing, you know, with RSL is basically you get, the players have more time to kind of focus on who they're against and the play style. And so I think you get much more developed, interesting games. You have a little bit more time to kind of speculate on who's going to take this versus a lot of these other tournaments that are, you know, over the course of a week or a weekend. Nothing against them, by the way. That's its own type of hype. But I'm very interested in seeing how Classic's going to do here. We've gone through some transformations with new patches, which of course create new metas, which, you know, birth these different styles. Classic still seems to be extremely viable, and Protoss, by the way, seems to be pretty good still against Terran. I do think Terran has avenues to win. You know, any talk about balance in StarCraft, it's very hyperbolic, and I think a lot of times it's not. It can be hard to get to the bottom, too, other than to let a couple tournaments pan out and kind of see what's going on. Cure's looked, I think, honestly, like last year, better than ever. And that's saying a lot because Cure is always in incredible shape, but I think this guy has looked so strong and so robust. Had a couple epic misses, though. Had a couple games I thought the strats were a little bit questionable, but I mean, I guess when you're really out there kind of being on the forefront of your respective race, what else can you expect, right? People have to be experimenting a little bit. And he says, I will survive this group of death.
I believe it, man. Kira absolutely has what it takes, but this is going to be a tough group for anyone to get out of. I think just to circle back to the predictions, I would say maybe Rogue and Maru on paper look the most confident to me, but as you said, Classic, he's looking a lot stronger. Kira, he's been top 2 Terran in Korea for I don't know how many years now. It might be more than a decade. Kira's just been unstoppable. And TVP was always his forte. I feel like these days, TVP, it's a little bit of a different beast than it was in the past, but Kira's still looking really good. We're going to be going into the first series here of Group A in the round of 8, Classic versus Kira on 10,000 feet.
All right, we're going to go into this game right now. Classic immediately sending a probe out onto the map. This is before the first pylon has been made. I always have to do a double take there when the game starts. What? 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 All right.
Well, Classic's going to find out about this about as soon as you possibly can. We had an instant scout come in from Classic. Here it looks like he's trying to set up with just one SCV. I would assume this is likely to be either a proxy 1-1-1 or just a proxy Reaper. In any case, Classic already getting the probe here into the main base of Cure. The moment that depot is done and there's no barracks, he's going to be asking some questions.
So, yeah, you know, he's going to be out here. I mean, this is an immediate scout. The racks. Classic, by the way, did do a 1-1-1 build outside of his base recently. I don't know if that's going to happen this time because this scout is literally as soon as it could possibly be.
Well, he does see the double gas. I think with double gas like this, it likely could be that 1-1-1 build that you saw before. Oftentimes with the siege tank push trying to get to the main base. I think it might have even been here on 10,000 feet that we saw that in the past. So we'll see if Kira's going to run it back.
Yeah, the question is, how do you play this when you have the initial infrastructure already out on the map? And, you know, obviously the element of surprise is gone. He is making a Marine, by the way, outside of here. So let's see if the factory is going to come down next. Classic is going to expand. He's not going to be playing from a position of fear. And it looks like he's going to do that 1-1-1 build again out here on the map.
Yeah, it's not very aggressively placed. We do have Zerg rocks here, which are slowly losing HP. It's one of the new map features that is in StarCraft 2. Mapmakers get to play around with. And so I don't think it's going to have quite as much of a punch should Cure try to elevator his way into the main base of Classic. So I wonder exactly what form this is going to take, because Cure doesn't have to go for that main base push. He could instead just try and push into the natural expansion. There's a lot of different avenues you can go with this. One thing that just has no question is Cure's going to be very aggressive here in the early stages. Even the starport, I think, getting proxy right now. Looking at the mini-map.
Yeah, so we did see this a little while back, and I'm curious because in my mind, you know, part of the strength of a proxy is every little bit of time that passes before you see it. So he's going to see exactly what it is. But I think when you scouted the Terran like you did before, you kind of know this is what's coming. Now, I think in the iteration that I saw of this before, he went for siege tanks. So this is a different variant where he is basically going for a Hellion drop. And I love that just kind of putting these in the bush so that you immediately get that damage off onto the Stalker.
Yeah, Classic, when he scouted the reactor, was probably wondering whether this is going to be Widow Mines going into the main base or if it was going to be Hellions. Now he does have the confirmation, and he's just been waiting for that starport to finish. Oh, he, from the high ground, could start attacking the barracks if he wants to. For now, just seems content to know that Cure has built literally all of his production here in this little corner of the map. We have a proxy pylon also getting set up now in the natural expansion of Cure.
Okay, the Hellions are now going to be out on the map. And we got to see how much damage he can actually get done. These are not units you try to incorporate into a push. These are units that you want to kamikaze onto the workers here. But already it's going to be a little game of cat and mouse here on the map with the Hellions. Now there's no easy way to repair these. Right now, Kira hasn't really gotten a whole lot done. Maybe he will actually just pair this with a push. I guess you just kind of take whatever you can get.
Stalkers will come in now, see what they can find. They do catch Kira going to work on those rock. Should see the siege tank as well. Once they go through the line of sight blocker, one Stalker does go down.
Yeah, I love the pickup, by the way. The counterattack is going to come up here, and this is a problem. The SCVs, I think, can barely repair this before it can be killed, but the push is going to come out. Now, he can try to dive onto those SCVs. The Hellions are going to go into the main now and kill off a lot of workers. Already 13 kills.
Oh man, Classic has very few workers left. His work count just got halved, and as Protoss right now, you're kind of banking on having a bigger economy than the Terran to try and get something done. So we have a situation where Classic doesn't have much income anymore. He's down to 18 workers. His standing army, especially in the main base, is not enough to deal with what Kira's got. It's going to be a bit of a base trade coming in between these two now.
Yeah, now remember, you can recall these Stalkers back here, so I think the plan is you kill off as much of the SCVs as possible and then recall and try to win this. And from there, Protoss could win. Will they win? I'm not so sure. Actually, man, that's a lot of Stalkers. Oh, okay, I think we're going to see the recall in a second. He is going to unpower the pylon, so you cannot make any more attacking units. Why is he not? Does he not have a recall?
Oh, recall's on cooldown. I'm not sure what we recalled earlier, but there's still a lot of time left before the next recall. So Classic's walking across the map. Instead, he has to pull the probes, going for a surround right now on the Marines. One siege tank will fall, but one siege tank traded for all those Stalkers is certainly a win here for Cure.
So there's 3 workers left for Cure. There's 1 right now running up. By the way, this base can't really be used with siege tank on the high ground. They are going to come up. He just needs to basically protect this. You don't have to move from this position. Terran are better in these base trade positions because their structures can fly, obviously.
The one probe forcing liftoff right now back at home.
Yeah. Okay, this may be unwise. He does drop the Viking. You really need to keep everything alive. Remember, shields are going to regen here. Tanks are not going to be healed in any kind of natural way.
Last worker for Classic falls.
Nice micro. Just absolutely dodging shots.
These are the last 2 structures that Classic has outside of the main base besides the one proxy pylon in Cure's natural expansion. So because of the proxy pylon especially, there isn't much elimination chance here for Classic. And so he's a couple ways to try and play this. I think the best case scenario for Classic right now, I believe looking at the map, it's likely to play for a draw. I haven't been in this situation before on 10,000 feet. I'm not sure if there's any dead airspace that a command center can fit in. Maybe a barracks though. It's a very awkward situation.
He's going to lift. Now, what other buildings does Protoss have? There's a pylon at the bottom. There's nothing else on the map, right?
No, just the natural expansion of Protoss.
I actually think Classic could maybe win a fight versus Cure on, Terrence moving. Maybe, actually, I don't know.
That's a huge army,
hold up. He's got a lot more. I didn't appreciate that there were these other units down here.
It's bigger even than I thought.
He needs to repair this.
Maybe if Classic starts kiting the army all the way across the map, he can get something done, but even then, Cure could just slowly inch his way towards that pylon. I mean, it would be tedious, but eventually he would get across the
Well,
map.
keep in mind, I mean, he doesn't know where the pylon is, but he knows something's there. And but actually, it's going to be revealed on the map here. Yeah, what am I saying?
Just a couple seconds.
Sorry, guys, I was casting ASL last night. I'm getting the rules of the StarCrafts mixed up here. Sorry, everybody. Okay, so now he's going to see where it is. And the only play for Cure right now is to force a draw. But I don't know, even with, like, DeepMind micro, that you'd be able to do that and make it work. I think that this is just too strong of a composition here for Cure, but let's see.
Yeah, I mean, Classic, the draw is the best chance that he's got, and you can see him trying his best to stutter step micro this a little bit, use a superior range on the Stalkers, but the moment those siege tanks get sieged up, it's going to be a lot of trouble. And there is one more probe out on the map as another Stalker falls. It's going to build an assimilator in the top left corner, so Classic won't be eliminated when this pylon falls.
Yeah,
but his army is basically non-existent. We have 5 Stalkers,
GG.
more getting taken down. Oh, what a wild ride that game number 1 was.
I loved that game. Yeah, I loved that. That was so interesting. You can see a smile on Classic's face. Not one of joy, though.
I wonder if recall was available, if he would have been able to hold.
I think he would have held.
I'm so curious what he recalled earlier, because I don't think we actually got a shot.
I didn't see it at all.
I bet he might have recalled just 1 or 2 Stalkers to try and bring them back to defend maybe the Hellions, is what I'm guessing.
I mean, I'm looking at that. I'm like, you have to pocket the recall. I mean, obviously, in hindsight's 2020, right? But like, anything but recalling because if you go there and you kill all the SCVs, I think you can basically buy enough time. You snipe a tank, you micro the Stalkers, you can make something work. Interesting, the Cure basically got caught proxying immediately, committed to the strat, and won with it.
I don't think that was expected there from Classic. Maybe the tempo with which Cure pushed was just a little bit unorthodox, going for the Hellion drop first. In any case, Cure taking the game at number 1. We're going to go into game number 2 here on Winter Madness. Classic spawning in the top left with another instant scout. Cure down in the bottom right.
Already setting this out.
It must be frustrating, too, for Classic. You scout that this is happening about as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah.
You know, it's an instant probe scout. It's one of the starting workers. It just goes across the map the moment the game begins. You know there's a proxy barracks. You find the proxy 1-1-1 relatively quickly there as Classic, and then you still get flummoxed on the defense. A non-ideal situation. You know, Cure, he's been workshopping pushes like this for quite a while now. In RSL and GSL and other online tournaments. And as you said heading into today, sometimes we watch it happen and we're kind of left confounded, wondering why he went for this build the way that it did, because sometimes it does just fall flat on its face.
Right.
But so far today, adjustments have been working. Cure coming in with a little bit of an experimental timing there. The 4 Hellions first with the medevac, able to get a lot of damage done. Now Classic just being a nuisance. Game 2.
Okay, so what kind of game is Cure going to bring us here? Interesting to see that he's recycling the strategy that I thought the first time I saw it a few weeks ago, or maybe it was even last week, it was like a one-off. I was like, okay, that's like one you pull out, and then you put that back in your kit for much, much later. He's more than happy to bring it back out again here.
I think just the way that he approached it, going for the Hellion drop, maybe Classic, I'm sure Classic did his research coming into this one. He might have got the proxy 1-1-1 and be like, oh, you're going to be hitting me really fast.
Yeah,
siege tank
fast push, yeah.
This is how I'll deal with that. And then Cure just mixes it up a little bit. It's kind of like the way you might see somebody play in a best of X series, where they'll do 2 builds which look identical up to a certain breakpoint. But then the latter part of the build is a complete curveball and it catches your opponent off.
It's like a pairing of a build that looks the same, but actually it's like another iteration that if you think you're reacting to this one, now you're going to get punished in the next game.
I think it's very smart.
They have the next idea. Yeah, I think so.
Cure's always been really clever, especially in TVP.
Yeah, well, he seems to understand where Protoss can and can't be a lot of times. And so, you know, he already played a fantastic game here, looking very strong already. This is going to be a game where he went for quick concussive shell. While Classic is going, at least for what looks like a mainline opening with the Twilight Council.
We saw this, I think, in Cure versus Trigger last week, if I'm not mistaken. The objective of this is typically to catch whatever the first gateway unit that comes across the map. Gets there for scouting, concussive shell, and it slows it down, and you just confirm the kill. And there's a little bit more of a threat for Protoss because you have Marauders on the map. Is going to spot this, but fortunately, Classic can shade away. Marauders don't do very much damage to Adepts.
Okay, Blink starting now. The third CC has started right away. I don't feel like I see this as often, right? It's like concussive and then 3 command centers.
It feels very strange because I think most people, myself included, associate fast concussive shell with something that's going to be aggressive early on, and I wonder if Classic might be thinking the same thing, especially with the Adepts kind of catching 2 Marauders moving into the middle of the map, which might have been a bluff by Cure, because behind it, Cure is going for about as greedy a build as you can. It's fast 3 CC. The second, or the starport, I should say, is even delayed. It's a barracks into a factory for a defensive siege tank, and then a second barracks, as most of these resources are stipended for that third CC. And this might force Classic, or at least urge him to play in a little bit more of a conservative manner. We see him actually going for 4-gate Blink right now. And you certainly can be aggressive with this build from Classic, but the way that Kier's opened it up, I wonder if this is Classic respecting the threat of potential push coming in from Terran.
Yeah, I guess we got to see where the game goes. The reality is it's just going to be Protoss activating first, right? The Warp Prism's coming up here. It's 4-gate, right?
It is 4-gate Blink.
Okay, okay. So, yeah, I guess the question I would ask is what role does Concussive Shell play in this moment, if any? Because Concussive Shell doesn't really have an interesting interaction with Blink, right? Like, you know, Stalkers obviously can't run away, but if you're taking damage, you just blink away. And I guess we're probably going to have to watch for the other things that normally show if Terran can or cannot survive this. The tank, by the way, is very well placed. The barracks are very well placed. They're all placed to hold off this attack that you see coming in here.
Concussive Shell catching that Adapt, going to confirm the kill. As Classic starting up charge. Might skip 1 Stalker Warpin cycle and instead go for a drop just so we can start the third Nexus, as quickly as possible. We'll see what we can get done here in the main base. These Stalkers being dropped barely in range of that siege tank. 4 Stalkers can one-shot Marines and SCVs, so Classic going to try and get as much damage as he can.
Yeah, and I think this is, you know, going to calm down pretty fast. It's going to be tough to get in there. I mean, again, Cure's already basically completely prepared for this. Now, Classic may go for a dive in the front. A lot of times you see them over-defend the main, and right now it's a bunker, a couple Marines and 1 tank way in the back, and he actually has that initial Stalker come in there. Oh my god, the target splitting was actually really good back there. I think he kind of messed it up a little bit at the end. But he gets in there with the punish. However, Cure has a lot back here to defend with. A lot of Stalkers were picked off. The next Warpin's going to come. He's going to set up with a 1 Stalker lead here to tank the shot and then try to, I guess, blink to the side here, out of tank range. You know, until you have all the tanks basically chained together, complementing each other, it's kind of hard to get away with a lot here. He once again blinks away. Is the main exposed? Yes, it is. A scan's going to come down here. It's going to reveal the position. Is Classic going to still blink in? He's going to blink in with just, oh, I love this. He blinks in with only 4, so he can basically check, confirm, and when he sees it doesn't work, he picks back up and move out. I don't feel like I see that very often.
Some nice moves coming out of Classic. Cure's defense up until this point has been pretty much all buttoned up, but Classic still finding a couple of windows to go in and get a little bit chip damage in, whether it be taking down a refinery, shaving off a couple of Marines, a couple of Marauders. So far, it's been very cost-efficient here for Protoss, and he's closed the gap as a result. Here, he went for this fast third CC, and he might have had an economic advantage for a while, but Classic's been able to apply enough pressure, trade effectively enough that pretty good position, and even dropping the Zealots on the bio just so they take some damage from the siege tanks. It feels like watching a StarCraft 1 game, you know?
Yeah, where they get the Zealots and try to drop it on the tank. You know, we watched what Classic did as far as damage back there, and he created a lot of threats, but he's grown quite a bit too. So I like this play here for him. I mean, the 4th base is going to be halfway done as this command center lands, and the 3rd base will start here for Cure. Once again, we're going to have Zealots come in here into the main. Can he kill any other workers? I don't even know if it's worth it to drop this stuff, since the Zealots probably aren't going to get any kills. And it's going to be Colossus with Thermal Lance as the tech that Classic goes for to fight the inevitable push that is going to come from Cure.
Yeah, fast +1 ground weapons for Classic as well. Now adding in the 2nd Forge as that upgrade completes. I like this approach a lot by Classic. He just uses the pressure of the Stalkers to secure his side of the map, get a little bit of damage done on a Cure, and then quickly expands up to a 3rd and a 4th base behind it. A 4-gate blink, you don't see it very often. In modern Korean PBT, it's usually 3-gate blink or 2-gate blink more as a safety play with a faster expansion, but
I like this. He's going to come in here. Looks like Cure is ready. Going to get caught by the rally of the next units. He's got to be careful not to lose this. I don't think he wants to recall back. He might want to just leave this here to kind of create a threat. Until Vikings are made, you basically always have the ability to possibly come in there with an attack. And Cure is going to move out. He's going to go across the map. It's 3 tanks, a lot of bio with 2 medevacs, but 2 Colossus are here. He dives in, and he one-shots each tank. Beautifully done.
man, Classic just pouncing on this army the moment that Thermal Lance completes. Blink forward and snipe every single tank down. The Warp Prism getting shut down by Cure is going to stymie this a little bit now. Classic will have to wait for reinforcements all the way back home. But this was supposed to be a big power spike for Cure. The first move out after a greedy 3cc opening. And Classic was able to deflect it well enough that he's feeling confident to take another base down in the bottom left, going into 5 expansions in total. And now the transition also coming through into Templar Archives. Cure, he feels like he has to go back home, and throwing down another command center telegraphs to me that Cure likely wants to play a longer drawn-out macro game now.
Yeah. Well, Classic's basically going for the elongated, I'm going to take the whole map game, right? He's just going to start to say, this is now your problem. I have literally the entire left side of the map, and I have ambitions to take the upper right very soon. And, you know, Terran have always, ever since, like, you know, the first day StarCraft was released, they've never been a race that kind of takes half the map very easily, except for the periods where Maru kind of proved you could versus Zerg sometimes. But it's tough. It's very tough to really, if not impossible, to keep up in pace with Protoss expanding this way as the Terran.
Yeah, the low gas style of Protoss, you see Classic up until this point just been playing with 4 gases in total. It means that his army has been mostly Zealots. It's part of the reason why it was so critical when he did the Blink Stalker pressure earlier on in the game that he didn't trade out the Stalkers, because with the current Protoss economy here for Classic, you can't really afford to replace them. You want to play mineral heavy. You want to have all of your probes saturating mostly minerals here, unless you have a rich Vespene Geyser, such as this expansion down on the bottom left. And as a result, as you said, Classic, his mineral income has just exploded, and he's catapulting into a double expansion in the bottom left. He's now securing a central expansion in the top right, which, given his probe count, I don't even think he can saturate this, but he's going to be taking these minerals away from Cure in the future, and it also effectively is a proxy gateway. A pylon next to a Nexus warps in quickly the same way that a pylon next to a gateway does.
And all these extra bases, it's just more minerals for Zealots to counterattack, right? It's not like, a lot of times we talk about Zealots counterattacking, it's like, oh, that's too bad. He lost like 14 Zealots and didn't really do anything. Doesn't matter when you're this big.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a really fun style to play. Adele Scott, if you think back to 2010, 2011, I mean, this is, if he kept playing, this is the style that he would have devised if he had his way. His Protoss has eventually gone from being a very gas-heavy race to now being a very mineral-heavy race, especially in PvT. And so Cure's going to continue to just play this defensively, and I think this is the right response against what Classic is doing. Is Terran typically, when you play against this style, we have a drop down in the bottom left. This will get cleaned up here by Classic. But is Terran, when you play against this style, you might have 1 or 2 power spikes in the early and mid game where you can try to get damage done. And if that damage isn't substantial enough, you have to fall back and play the end game, because Supreme Terran late game is more cost efficient than Protoss late game, especially when Protoss is playing a relatively low gas style like this one, and they're going for a lot of Zealots. They're mining out their side of the map much faster than you are, and they're investing that into units that don't trade very well. And so Cure is just going to try and basically navigate his way towards eventually a 5th and a 6th base, and eventually start trading out SCVs. And Classic's job now, with the economy that he's got, 8 tier workers, all of these expansions, is to basically try and bust Cure down, or at least keep him bottled in on 4 bases.
Yeah, just keep the Terran oppressed on the map. Now, there's an insane spike in minerals, and the gas is starting to pile up here for Classic. Does he want to attack in? I'm not so sure. This is a pretty impossible area to get through, particularly with the orbital in the front and the planetary in the back. He's going to try to just come through here anyways.
Yeah, Stalkers blink to the side. They're able to focus fire down that command center to secure a little bit of a better arc. But with army supplies right now heavily in Cure's favor, Classic has to be careful. He has a lot of resources in the bank. He's going to spend that on 16 Zealots to warp in, but the DPS of this army is gone, Tasteless, even with the Zealots. Sure, that's a strong meat shield, 18 Zealots, but For what? There's no damage.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, how many Zealots and Stalkers are you going to make to actually fight this? You need the combination of other units. Now, the counterattack's genius because, you know, this army can't be in multiple places at once. He's going to come through. He's going to try to wipe this position. We have one Colossus here in the mix.
No Storm available here for Classic. He's been playing an Archon style, so this army's going to get cleaned up. Even though the bio has stimmed so much, it is all in the orange and the red. Classic just cannot clean it up because his army has basically no DPS. Two more Colossi are going to finish now the natural expansion. Classic needs to hold this, but if Kure can get on top of the Robos, when the Colossi pop out, they're just going to get cleaned up.
I think if he takes out this and gets into the main, he's going to win. He's landing the Vikings. Both these guys have plummeted in supply. Okay, hold up. He's going to get in here. No more Colossi. That's gone, which means it's all going to be tier 1 tech. There's Zealots, but you know, you can kite these. This is a lot of DPS coming out, so the Zealots sort of melt like butter. There's reinforcements. More Zealots. Surprise, surprise.
So many Zealots. With 2,200 gas, we're going to have a ton of Archons warped in a moment, too.
Classic is Zealot, man.
He
the
is.
next Marvel superhero. He can make, okay, now he's going to make Archons.
That's a lot of Archons warping in, and that's going to be some damage. That's going to be the damage that Classic needs. And Classic is probably going to be hoping that Kure just continues to stim to try and take down infrastructure.
Unless he recalls into the main, I mean, how's he going to fight this? Oh my god. Okay, he's going to go for the pylons. The Archons are coming up. Reinforcements are arriving.
Oh, it's going to be tough to push up this ramp with Archons, though. Do we have a recall available in the main base Nexus?
This game is so crazy. He's going to outpower the last pylon.
The Liberators, they're guarding the ramp. One of them does get taken out. You see the Concave, the Archons, they're all getting dissipated before they can even get a couple of shots off.
Dude, he did it. He did it.
Wow, Kure.
All right, guys, listen. I'm making a petition. Blizzard's got to make Protoss even stronger, guys. We saw it here. It's okay. We know for sure now. GG. Oh!
Wow. My goodness, Kure.
That was one of the most insane things ever. You know, it looks like, how could that possibly be? How could you possibly lose that game? But he took the Colossi out. And then from there, you only have gateways. You've only got gateways. The push across the map, it doesn't matter how many bases you have. You can only make Zealots. You can only make Stalkers. When the Archons came out, it didn't matter. He's on the high ground. He's got Liberators there. The bottleneck doesn't allow you to get up there and take the fight you want to take.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, Kure just played it perfectly.
Yeah.
He stayed on his side of the map, he defended, and then eventually he takes one big fight. He's able to leverage that into a win.
We're going to go to a short break. When we come back, Rogue versus Maru.
you're longing for a little change. A bit of something different in a different place. Somewhere the grass is greener. Call it a spiritual healer. I hear you, darling, I feel ya. Me and you, there's nothing we can't do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape. With the wind on our backs, we'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid. Come on, let's go fly away now. Come on, let's go fly away. I never feel lost even in the unknown. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, it feels like home. Feels like home. Me and you, there's nothing we can do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape. With the wind on our backs, we'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid.
GSL Season 1.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for waiting. We're going to go into our next best of three now. Rogue versus Maru. Cure versus Classic was a delight. Cure with two very different wins, absolutely outclassing Classic.
Yeah, Cure looked very good. He's always been a little bit of a trickster in TVP, and he always just understands the game so well, whether it's him doing an experimental build that we might not see very often, or doing a variant of a popular build and finding some quirkiness to leverage into a victory, or just as we saw in game number 2, just waiting until the perfect time to strike against a Classic that was on, what, like 10 bases? I mean,
yeah,
it looked absurd watching the game, but the way that Cure plays it makes so much sense. Oh, that was just a treat. I'm excited to watch him play in the winners match because he's going to be going up against either Rogue or Maru.
What does it say behind him? Healing
esports?
Oh, I wish someone would do that.
Maybe.
We really need it now more than ever. Healing.
It does look like it could be
sports.
esports. Yeah,
there could be an E in front of the sports. There's no way that thing heals esports, though, right?
I mean, who knows, man?
Who
Rogue's
knows?
been powering up. Maybe it's
That's
his
one of those
fitness
things
routine.
you do the dips, you do the, what is it called when you lift your knees up?
Oh, it's like a leg raise, yeah.
Leg raises.
That's good for the abdominals.
Yeah.
I never do those. My abdominals are putrid. Non-existent.
Also a hanger for his sweatshirt. It's going to be Rogue versus Maru, guys. This is going to be so sick. Let's take a look at Maru's room. I like the diffuser on the top over there on the left.
Oh yeah, I
The
always
rooms smell nice and clean.
I've gotten those in the past, and I feel like they diffuse after 1 or 2 weeks, and then they just sit empty on your shelf for months.
Well, it's because you gotta change out the little sticks you put in there.
It's not the sticks though. The sticks are in a liquid, and the liquid is what's diffused through the sticks. Typically, right?
I believe so. I don't know.
I feel like those things.
I'll tell you who knows though. Maru does.
I would hope so. He's got
He
one on
knows
his.
how to use it.
He's got one on his shelf. But,
Yeah.
Oh man, oh I hate those things. They run out so fast. It's like walking down the perfume aisle at like any department store. It just makes
Yeah.
me sick. I hate
Oh, I
those
like
smells.
going down the perfume
I
aisle.
hate those smells so much. I got a headache. I couldn't imagine working there. Anyway, folks, that's our analysis for Rogue versus
All right,
Maru.
that's how we've got. That's the yin and yang of tasteless and stayed. Is one guy likes the smell of cologne and perfume, the other one doesn't know how diffusers works.
Gym equipment versus aromatic diffusers.
That's right.
Best of 3 here in the round of 8 Group A. Rogue versus Maru. The winner's going to go on to face Cure here in the winner's match. Let's go on to Winter Madness here for map number 1.
Okay. Rogue top left, Maru bottom right. Maru sent. Is this? Wait, I gotta stop jumping the gun. Okay, he is sending. Wait, could he just maybe get a depot though?
Oh, it's a beyond wall.
Don't you love it when I just, I scramble to figure out what's happening instead of just kind of explain this smoothly? I'm like, wait, no, is he? Oh no, hold on, I was right. Oh no, okay, he's gonna make a wall there.
I feel like we've had so many proxy barracks.
Well,
so
yeah,
far in this
you get
GSL,
enough of these, and it's like the effect is Pavlovian.
Yeah.
I immediately start to overreact to it.
Heart rate starts rising.
Yeah, my mouth starts watering, It's
going to be Maru playing a pretty classical build here. We unpopularized this, I want to say a couple of years ago now. I still remember him being interviewed in the GSL when he was the only player that was going for this low ground wall-in. And people were saying, like, you're the only player that does this. You've done it for a couple of seasons now. Why do you think nobody else is copying this strategy? Because you're finding some success with it. Is it weak? And he's like, no, this is the right way to play. Eventually, everyone's going to catch on, and we'll see this build all the time. Well,
now
we finally did.
So Rogue's played a lot more of a action-packed TVZ here. He does seem to be, I'm sorry, ZVT here. He does seem to be more interested in trying to really find a way to close the game out. Maru, I think, made exhaust play more famous than any other single Terran or combination of Terrans you could give. Like, he was the guy that's like, actually, sometimes you just kind of, if you can't kill them by like the 5th base, you just sort of grow and defend and take your trades and then take the last base and they run out, which makes for pretty much the longest StarCraft games we can have. There are some exceptions where PvZ gets crazy long. But let's see what happens. Maru went for the Reaper opening. Now, we've seen games where people get a decent number of Reapers. We've seen games where people get up to 3.
I wonder which approach this will be here from Maru, because Rogue doesn't strike me as one of those Zergs. I say this and he is sending a drone out right now, but he's been playing some more 2-base heavy openings lately. He doesn't go for that 3rd hatch all the time super quickly, but this time, getting the drone in position, he will be going for that 3rd hatchery as the Reaper is going to try and cause some trouble here in the natural expansion of Zerg, but Rogue with some nice micro, evenly spreading the damage across all those lings. Oh, didn't quite have enough minerals to throw down the hatchery there at the 3rd base, so the drone, where is it going to go off to? How funny would it be if you just hit a base in the bottom left corner of the map?
Well, we have seen an increase in hidden bases in some StarCraft 2 tournaments. We didn't see them almost ever for a while, but I think, people start to catch on. Sometimes you're in an uncomfortable position. It's like, honestly, probably hiding a base might be the way to go.
Maru behind this going for 3 CCs. Goes down in the 3rd command center in the main base at the ramp. Factory getting started here for Terran, so slowly working his way up the tech ladder, and this drone's coming all the way back now to the 3rd base to eventually throw down a hatchery.
Okay. It's going to be the starport next here, and a layer tech here as the 3rd base is being taken as well. And it's probably going to be a little bit slow for a while. I don't think either side can really attack into each other or do a whole lot. We do have the Hellions coming out, so he'll probably get enough of those and try to come in and take out any creep tumors he can find, and maybe do a dive on some drones if he thinks it's the right idea.
The Hellions pair very well with the Reapers. 2 speedy units that move at about the same rate. A little Able to exert a lot of map control early on for Terran. Potentially get a couple of drones here and there. Keep the creep spread under control as well. Smart's going to continue to build up. Back on his side of the map. We did see quite a few mech games from Maru recently versus Rogue, but I think whenever you go for anything like a 2 barracks opening with Reapers, it is just a little bit too much investment into bio. We're not going to see that here in game number 1, but could potentially be in the cards for a game 2 or game 3. And for now, Rogue, he's on his side of the map, just continuing to power up on 2 bases. He's up to full 2 base saturation now. He's going for a Spire quickly behind this relatively fast lair. I think this plays pretty well against what Maru is going for.
Okay, he's going to come up here for a little poke. We have that Banshee Cloak coming out here now. Let's see how good the deflecting is going to be from Rogue. And we've got, you know, the Spire, the Baneling's Nest, and a lot more Lings coming out here. So Rogue's going for that classic battle style TVZ, looking for a fight on the map. The Hellions are going to come forward here. The damage distribution's been pretty even right now, although Maru's going to try to target that one Queen on the side. The Lings come in here to tank, but only for a moment.
More Lings reinforcing right now. Queen's trying to retreat back to safety.
Rogue is so good, by the way, at just kind of balancing this HP and still not losing any drones. The Queen's now going to damage this Banshee. Cloak's almost done, though. There is an Overseer here. A couple more Lings are going to hatch. I got to say, Rogue with, I think, almost literally perfect defense.
Yeah, it's about the bare minimum amount of units Rogue needed to defend.
Yeah.
And it's just exactly what he brought to the table. Able to deflect that attack quite well. And the Hellions right now, they're low enough on HP that I don't think Maru can risk going for a dive on the 3rd base anymore. And so a little bit of the pressure right now is off Rogue. And with the first Mutas also getting onto the field, I think these Banshees are going to struggle to find any damage at all. I say that, and Maru still finds his way to just will 3 drone kills. I do like him spotting the Spire and then immediately deciding just to trade out the Banshee.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. You're like, this isn't going to have any purpose for much longer here. You know, when you see Rogue defend like that, I think some people might go, well, I mean, it seems like he barely held it off, though, right? Well, that's kind of the point, is you want to get as many drones out as possible while just having enough to hold off their attack. That means they're going to be in a better position later on. So that's very, very different than, let's say, him shutting that down, but then having, you know, 15 drones less because it's all Lings or, you know, more Queens and stuff like that.
Yeah, but Rogue has been investing a lot of resources specifically into Lings and Mutas. You would think that he might be trying to leverage that defense, that almost bare-bones defense, into building up a bigger economy, but instead for him, the priority seems to be getting as many Mutas out on the field as possible. Keep in mind, Maru, he did go for 2 Rex Reaper. Those are not Marines. They do not shoot up. And then he went into Reactor Hellions, which also do not shoot up. And so there isn't a lot of anti-air here for Maru right now. He has to rely on turrets and the main base and the 3rd base here. And I think also the natural expansion. And with a small number of Marines like this, I mean, I think this is literally all of the Marines that Maru's got on the map. If Rogue can get on top of them with the Zerglings, suddenly there's no more anti-air.
Okay, he's doing a great job. And when you take these Marines out, yeah, as you were saying, State, these Mutas suddenly look a lot stronger. He's picked up some of them. He's on the run now. But these Mutas are going to reign supreme right over this production area here at the entrance. The Ling's going to go into the main. He can take even more Marines out here if they come out of that barracks.
This is a huge problem for Maru, and the Marine count very low right now as Rogue's been able to find the trades that he wants. Able to pick up some add-ons here, the natural expansion. Only 5 SCVs get taken out up to this point, but there's more Mutas than Marines right now. We have 18 Mutas to 14 Marines, which is just ludicrous.
Yeah, and he's going to get even more. He's getting air attack for the Mutas. That's about halfway done. Going for the E-base. These are not upgrading, but they're certainly not going to be upgrading later if they're killed off. And Maru, I got to say, you know, he's been so destabilized, he's going to basically abandon really defending his base and instead go for a counterpunch. This counterpunch has to do real damage, if not kill the Zerg, or I don't think he's going to be viable in this game at all.
1-1 is now done for those Marines as well as combat shields, so they're going to be much more formidable versus those Mutas, but there's still so many Mutas. Baneling's now in production. More Lings getting produced. This is a tough position for Maru to push into, right between all the reinforcements from the main base, the natural expansion, and the 3rd. With Baneling speed done and flyer attack level 1 about to finish, I'm really liking Rogue's position. You just see how many Marines are getting picked off by Mutas. And it's not even a trade. Rogue just keeps taking wins, and now he's going to push in. Mutas focus fire down. The Siege tank, the Banelings find the connections with the Marines on top. Does Maru have enough Marines left to continue to push through, though? For Rogue, most of the firepower, it's in the sky. We have 19 Mutas, 7 Banelings, hardly any Lings at all on the map. It's all about the Mutas right now for Rogue.
Yeah. I love the turrets here.
Whoa.
It's kind of a cool way to at least give you something to try to fight these mutas. The problem is the mutas basically escort the Banes in. Oh, hold on a second. He's got a decent amount after that. I thought that did a little bit more damage than it actually did. He's going to go for the hatchery. The hatchery's going to go down.
This is a wild composition that Rogue is playing. It is so muta heavy, but now Maru with basically a pure Marine composition pushing into natural expansion. I'm not sure Rogue has enough on the ground to actually deal with this. He's going to pull the drones, but 1-1 Marines are just going to chew right through those.
Oh, you could see Rogue shake his head for a second. He says, oh, this is not quite working out. I don't know if there's Banes under there. I can't quite see.
1 or 2.
Now, again, you know, the mutas, they're getting thinned out, but ultimately Rogue wins. The question, though, is that what do you have left over after this? He's down 2 bases to Maru's 3. You would think that you would be able to just produce your way through this as Maru and just continue the just continue to rally forces. And, you know, from there, it's not even just about 2 bases being down, it's 2 production facilities for Zerg is gone. I think Maru's going to win this game.
And Maru has pivoted his army composition so well. First, those missile turrets anchoring the push. How often you see missile turrets put at the base of the Zerg's natural ramp to try and assist a push? Hardly ever. Stop siege tank production, instead goes into reactor widow mines. Everything that Maru is doing now is focused on one goal, and that is to deal with the mutas. We even have Thors in production here for Maru. He knows this is the one risk. And those Banelings are going to find the best possible shots. They want to get a really good connection on another group of Marines.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is Maru is just getting bigger and bigger as far as army supply. It's 88 to 52. And there's a point where you're going to have so much on screen that, you know, it doesn't matter how many Banelings you have. By the way, he only has 2 Banelings. So, I mean, you know, this is not a moment where Ling Muta can overwhelm. Small groups of Marines, you can do that too.
A big army like this one set up, it's hard to take the fight here as Rogue. With the few Banelings he has, he gets really good connections on those Marines, but still, for Rogue, it's almost pure Mutalisk right now, and those Widow Mines make it near impossible to dive in and try and get the trades that he wants.
GG. Wow, beautifully done.
That was an awesome game.
I love that game. I'm totally inspired by Maru's play there. I mean, first of all, Rogue was beastly in that early attack. I mean, the way he handled that, and he knew exactly where to hit, which was the Terran's weakness and the fact that he was low in Marines. But the fact that you saw a counter push from Maru, and by the way, the 3-turret setup was so sick. It was such like a good, I mean, it just enough to where that you couldn't really get in deep with the mutas. And then he just sprayed down with damage, taking out 2 bases. I'm totally awestruck by Maru.
That was just an incredible game. Like there's so much to unpack there. From Rogue, I think identifying that Maru's going for 2 Ranks Reaper into Hellions, which means he has very little anti-air. And then I think that was probably the cue for him to go into what was basically a pure Muta army, which how often do we see that in StarCraft 2, especially in ZVT? Hardly ever. We had more Mutas than Marines for minutes in that match, which you never see in a ZVT. So that just out-of-the-box thinking from Rogue, as you said, very inspiring, but also coming in from Maru to kind of react on a dime to the style that Rogue was doing, to switch out of siege tanks to go into Widow Mines, to add in the turrets at the timing that he did, and then to identify a very unintuitive timing window to push out with Marines and proxy turrets to anchor the push.
Yeah.
How many players would think of a push like that one in that moment with Rogue pressuring them with Mutalisks? Just a wild game 1 to this series. Folks, we're going to go into game number 2 now. 10,000 feet. I'm giddy with that first match, man. That was electric.
Yeah, that was such a great game. That was one of my favorite games, honestly. And I've had a lot of great games I've casted so far this year, but that was really like just so impressive what he did. Okay. So Maru going to go depot over here on the expansion. And it's going to be Rogue here with Hatchery first. You know, it's interesting. Maru just has this instinct in games that, you know, like, for instance, that game that we saw back there, that's like, you know, a pretty advanced way to win, to basically kill off enough of the Marines that the Mutas can then do so much damage in so many different ways and the Terrans destabilized. That's a pretty advanced tactical win. And that's not one he planned from the start. He kind of looked at the situation and went, oh, okay, hold on. I see the weak point. Let me rip this apart. And then I should have a setup here where I can probably maybe force like his third base to lift or kill off SCVs in the main or something like that. But to see Maru in a bad position like that and identify, you know what? He's going to give me a lot of hits inside my main. I'm going to take a lot of damage here. Let's just walk across the map. And let's send 3 SCVs, because I've identified that his strength is to have a Muta-heavy army. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 3 turrets built when I'm pushing this. And by the time the Mutas get back, you can't really use what was your initial strength back at home when you were harassing their base. Now you can't deal with the army that initially wouldn't have been able to fight Mutas alone. Now it's got turret backup. Now you can kite all the way back into that and kill off the Banelings. That's a crazy impressive victory from him.
Yeah, on both sides.
Yeah.
It was just a very intelligent approach to the game. First from Rogue, going with that stylistic response to what Maru's opening was, and then Maru, as you said, the speed with which he pivoted his game plan based on what Rogue was doing, just jaw-dropping. You love to see it from Maru. And now we have a little bit of a mix-up here in game number 2. Maru went for the low ground barracks. Also, wow, able to isolate this drone, forces the spore call to be thrown down, causing a little bit more disruption than you would typically see. Might even get this drone. Oh!
Dude, nice.
Maru getting some good damage done. Nearly got 2 drones. Will, in fact, get 1. You hardly ever see the first Reaper get a drone kill early in the stage like this one, but to get a drone kill, it also forced 2 spore crawlers to get thrown down and then canceled. Pretty big here for Maru. And behind this, there's... Oh, we missed this. There are some Zerglings in Maru's base.
Oh, was there a worker kill?
There might have been one. I think the... What's it called? The little side info bar thing pops up if you have 2 kills. So 1 SCV in total is going to fall. A couple of lings. So Rogue getting a little bit of tit for tat in there. But yeah, that's partly because Maru went for this mix-up. He went for the low-ground barracks, but it was just 1 barracks, instead opting to get a very fast factory on the low ground. There'll be reactored Hellions here from Maru.
So the Hellion and Reaper are going to be on the outside here. Just seeing if there's any opportunities to get in. We should have the 3rd hatchery starting soon, because we don't have any kind of weird tech or rushes coming.
It's Rogue once again going for the very fast lair.
Lair and 10lings, so maybe we will have something weird here. We got to see.
Yeah, Rogue really likes these openings with the fast lair, and I wonder if this Hellion's kind of timing is going to catch him off guard.
My God. Well, they're going to get right in here, kind of threading the needle in between the 2 groups of queens.
Really good spread on the drones right now by Rogue.
Yeah, only 5 kills.
Given how out of position Rogue was, I feel like a lot more drones should have gone down. On paper, this is still a very good trade for Maru, taking out 5 drones, but that could have been so much worse for Rogue.
Okay, it is going to be a roach run. I was just saying he's not going to do a weird rush, and I was wrong. So the layer's going to finish up here. There it is, the 3rd base finally. The drop is going to come here towards the main.
Barely gets spotted there by the Overlord, so Rogue is aware of this. With the lair done, I wonder if we're going to have dramatic carapace research for these queens to move cross map instead. For now, Rogue just been focusing on trying to deal with these Hellions. Maru trying to find some more damage, get some pretty good shots in, able to take down 4 more drones. So in total, 10 drones have fallen so far in this game. No Overlord speed upgrade yet for Rogue. Instead, mostly going to be the roaches, I think. And he has a couple ways he can go about this. He can try and just drone up and use the roaches defensively, or he could just try and make as many roaches as possible and really punish Maru for investing so much into these Hellions early. And he's also identifying very quickly this is going to be mech.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a great moment to catch mech. You know, I think that unless we ever get into a Bizarro world where mech really is the default, and Marine tank play is kind of like the crazy out of the box, the one that makes Artosis go, wow, you know, that style of play. I think always getting in there with an Overseer and just seeing all the factories make is nice. Because that means you literally have as much time as possible to think about how you're going to respond to this. And you're not in some weird tech trajectory that might not be helpful.
So Rogue is going to know exactly what is coming his way. And having that kind of information, as you said, just makes things so much easier here on the Zerg side. And for now, it seems like Rogue, his response to this is going to be largely just a lot of roaches. And I wonder if this is him honing in on just trying to deny the 3rd base from Maru for as long as possible, because I don't really see him breaking Terran with this push, right?
Well, you know, it's hard to say. I mean, one thing to remember is that, like I was about to say, there aren't any tanks here to defend. Usually that's kind of how the Ravagers do their damage, but he is making 2 tanks here. The mines are doing nothing. So, I mean, I'll tell you what, too, these add-ons on the outside, it's going to be pretty uncomfortable trying to protect this. He is going to go for that tech lab. There's a tank on the outside. I almost feel like he should unsiege and back that up, just because the Ravagers can run up there and hit that.
I think he might be doing that right now.
Yeah, okay, he's going to go for it. So, you know, that the factories are really paying the price here. By the way, 14 lings are being made, so he's planning on coming through here and actually attacking once this entrance is busted down. Now, the Biles cannot quite hit the tank, so he has to basically focus fire this. This is where you see the rotation of like SCVs repairing, Biles coming down, then the SCVs dodge, and this back and forth continues on.
Yeah, Maru during all of this dropped a scan on the third base location of Rogue to check the drone count there, and he sees that it's not fully saturated, but he is on 59 drones in total. So it's a pretty healthy economy here behind Rogue. He's going to try and get as much damage done as possible, but I think that scan is a large part of why we see Maru now trying to secure this third orbital.
Okay, he's going to come in again. This time he's going to get the tank on the edge. Rogue looking pretty fearsome, but he hasn't really gotten in there and breached this just yet. An SCV is going to come in here to repair. Oh my God, there's a Liberator in here. Liberator over here, denying the mining of that.
That's a big disruption to Rogue's economy right now. Infestation Pit, I think, just finished up.
And look at this, Maru's just going to slide right out and take a third.
Swarm Host tasteless. I thought we might see
Where?
a hive here from Rogue. He's going for 9 Swarm Host. He's making even more.
I love this.
I think this pairs really well with all the Ravagers he still has on the field, too.
Yeah, he can definitely hit the third base from afar here, right? I mean, the only way to fight Swarm Host with mech is to push it.
Yeah, and one of the things that makes it troublesome for the Swarm Host player, too, is when mech reaches a critical mass, it can kind of deflect all the pushes quite easily. But when you do the move out that Rogue did, with the Roaches, the Ravagers, and the Lings, I think at this point, there's been enough attrition on Maru's side of the map that he's going to have a hard time dealing with this first wave of Swarm Hosts. I mean, 12 Swarm Hosts, that's going to be so many Locusts.
Okay. The first wave's going to hit here. Oh, wait, did he just scan that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so he
Rogue
knows.
walked into it, too. He's not shy.
Yeah. Now, how much does he actually have to fight this? He's going to try to have both of these come in at the same time.
Locust going to land here on top of the siege tanks. That should allow the Ravagers to get up and try and drop Biles down on them. Those Biles can take on 2 siege tanks at least.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Oh, Rogue.
That was sick.
What a build coming in from Rogue. The pressure with Roach, Ravager, Ling, just to make sure that Maru's never going to reach critical mass, and then a huge switch into Swarm Host. Effectively a Swarm Host timing attack. Whenever we see Swarm Host typically in StarCraft 2, it's something that is used to try and slowly break down the defending player, or it's something that's kind of a Hail Mary play where the Zerg has run out all of their options and they're just trying to make something work aggressively.
Yeah.
This felt so well crafted from Rogue. It was basically a kill move. I mean, the Locusts were the perfect meat shield there.
These guys make for such great games between these two. But I thought the Swarm Host was genius. I don't know why. It didn't even occur to me he could do that in that moment. Because a lot of times you say, okay, like the Liberator caused a problem, and then they got to run back and defend that, and now that time has kind of passed, right? Terran's going to get a third base. They're going to be dealing with mech, and your Roach Ravager is going to be terrible against us. But instead, he just combos it. He combos it, and it goes so well because it's right as a Terran takes that third base, so he's actually opened the position up for him.
All right, game number 3 between Rogue and Maru now on Old Republic. Rogue spawning in the top right, Maru spawning in the bottom left. And this has been my favorite series of the GSL so far this year. I mean, game 1
These
and
games
game
have
2.
been so good.
It's just off meta enough to be completely novel,
Yeah.
The adjustments these players are making, and I'm sure for Rogue, he mentioned this in the first week of GSL this year. He said that he loves this format tournament because it allows him to prepare specific builds, specific strategies, specific approaches for each of the different opponents that he has in his groups. And he's come through with some really crafty stuff. I mean, almost a pure Muta army in game number 1, which Maru barely broke through to take the win. And then in game number 2, the Roach Ravager timing attack paired with the Swarm Host transition, something almost completely offbeat, which in one fell swoop is able to dislodge Maru from the third base and shoo him out of the game. You almost never see that with Swarm Host builds in StarCraft 2. And so Rogue is just coming to this series with some really novel approaches.
We haven't had that many Swarm Host games.
Yeah, they're
lately.
a little bit out of the meta. They have been for a while.
Or at least I'm not seeing them and casting them, but yeah. This is, I don't know. I'm tickled by how great the series has been so far. And I think it's way too hard to call who's going to take it. Remember, Cure is waiting for the winner of the series, whether that be Rogue or Maru. Going to be a crazy, crazy moment here. This is, of course, a day we're going to decide which 2 players go on into the Final Four. They'll be on opposite sides of the bracket over there.
Final 4 for the offline finals.
Right. Our finals day, by the way, it's round of 4 and finals. So you come down, watch a lot of good StarCraft.
Yeah, that's going to be a great show. I mean, 3 massively long series. And I mean, take a name and throw it at the dartboard with this group. You could take any 2 players out of this group, and I could see any of them making it to the finals and potentially being a champion. I mean, it's just such a group of death that we have today.
Okay. The Reaper, somehow, actually, he is going to get out of here. So decent scouting there.
Another drone kill, too, right? Or was that a Zergling? Might have been a drone.
Might have been a drone.
Maru's been so on point with his Reaper micro so far in the series.
Well, it's funny. You know, Maru was so dominant when Rogue was gone that I think now that Rogue's back, and Rogue is, like, so tournament viable. He's looking so strong. He's getting stronger, by the way. It feels like by the week when we cast him. That it almost feels like it's woken something up inside of Maru. You know, dude, what?
Gets another drone, doesn't lose a single Reaper. Now he's going to go into the main base. If he decides to dive on this, which I think he is, he should be able to get 1 or 2 more drones. Nice pull back there by Rogue. Ah, but Maru, he doubles down and gets both of them. 3 drones in total, including the one of the natural expansion.
And he keeps the other one alive that can scout and poke around. Layer starting. So, you know, a lot of times when I see the layer on 2 bases, I go, okay, this is a crazy cheese. But let's see if he does the Roach Ravager play again here.
Keep in mind, he also went for a fast layer to go into the Mutalisk play last time. And Maru's made an adjustment from game 1 coming into this one. One of the reasons why I think he was so willing to part with those Reapers and trade them out for drones is that drone barely is able to throw down the hatchery in time, is because there is no Hellion follow-up. He's not trying to use these Reapers for any period of time in the mid-game. He just wants to get early game value out of them. Oh, isolating another drone. It gets another drone.
What is happening? What is happening? This is unheard of in a tournament match.
So many drones have fallen to Reapers in this series. It is crazy. And I think the most that we had produced in a single game, if I'm not mistaken, has been 3. Just Maru is finding so much value out of these Reapers. And I wonder if him going for this transition, I was going to say if it's going to throw Rogue off guard. Look at what Rogue's going for now. It's Hydralisks this early on.
What?
I'm trying to think about how this is going to play out.
Like Ling Hydra bust?
Yeah, maybe, but
at the front?
He's aware that Maru's a Terran and not a Protoss, right?
I don't know. Lurkers? Lurker attack here?
I don't think you could afford Lurkers in the economy that he's got, but maybe Rogue will try.
I don't know. I mean, let's see.
It's...
He's going to get... Thing is, I get it. Yeah, he's Terran, but like, why else would you get the Hydra Den?
It's unique to go into Hydras this fast. I mean, he's getting group spine, so it is going to be a lot of Hydras.
Yeah.
Rogue is such a treat to watch play.
Well, he's just so... His play style is so comprehensive.
And it's so unique.
Yeah, you know, like we have some players that we go, oh, this is that build he does all the time, or like he's winning like he always does with this kind of tech in this phase of the game. But like Rogue's just bringing every brand of Zerg imaginable. You know, he'll come out with something that requires so much understanding, or as an example, so circumstantial. It's not premeditated. It's in fact something you see and you have this weird interaction. And you go, okay, I can do this thing and make it work. And some of this requires so much practice and so much experience. It's crazy to see him doing it here now. So he's getting more Hydras. Now, what Terran's doing is textbook. You go out on the map with 2 medevacs, you get the Marines, you scan, and you clear. And this is really less about now and more about being in a better spot later on in the game. Now, the Hydra reveal is here. And you certainly don't go, that's weird. He must certainly have other units besides Hydras he's making. This is the only tech he's got. So what exactly does Terran want to do here? Because if anybody knows how to handle it, it's Maru.
All Rogue behind this is going to be going into an infestation pit the moment that he hits 3-base saturation. And looking at the way the build is working out, maybe this is just one of the patterns Rogue can go. I phrase that so poorly. It's one of the patterns that he can take where he can tech up very quickly and also go for such a fast 3-base saturation, because he went up to 66 drones on the back of a dozen Hydralisks, and now he's taking a 4th base. In terms of investment, it feels like Rogue hasn't put too much money into Army and has still been able to begin taking up towards high with that infestation pit should he decide to go that way, while also really building his economy.
Okay, the Hydras are going to come out again. Now, you know, the interaction that Hydras and Marines have is kind of funny because they're both very brittle. They both attack very fast. And he's going for Infestors. And he is going to go for Lurkers. Okay. So he's going to move back. Again, Hydra's kind of slow off creep.
Yeah, both Hydra upgrades are done now.
Yeah.
Behind this is going for double upgrades as well. This is the window for Maru to try and get some damage done with his superior upgrades. 1-1 already done here for Terran. But you have to be very careful. One Infestor dropping a fungal on this army, and it is dead. Those Hydras will clean everything up.
Oh!
And there it is! There's the fungal on everything! Oh my goodness!
God.
Even the medevac! One of them is going to fall, and that was a freebie for Rogue. That cost him energy and basically nothing else.
Yep, just wiped it. Terran's going to advance anyways. The strategy, it's been hatched now. He sees what it is. So the question is, how does Maru handle this? I think he wants to have a decent spread with both tanks and Marines.
And Rogue's going to need a lot more links to try and usher this army away. It's hard to push into this position with just Hydras, their glass cannon units. The Siege Tank's getting a lot of damage done. I guess paired with a fungal, again, you're able to take down a lot of these Marines, but you just see the damage these Siege Tanks are able to do. So Maru's going to continue inching forward. 1-1 upgrades now done for Zerg. More Hydras and Lings in production, a couple more Infestors as well, but I think this 4th base has to be evacuated. Rogue's army just doesn't have the tools it needs to deal with Siege Tanks specifically. He needs a lot more Lings.
Yeah, I mean, the problem though is there's kind of a reason why we don't see this all the time. Like, it's got some pretty crazy ideas, but like Siege Tanks are pretty good. Marines, you know, they're gonna heal up pretty nicely. The drones are gonna be pulled. I'm not clear on what, there's a couple Lings down here, but this is over 30 drones killed. That's gonna be a GG, okay.
And GG called. Well, Maru, he lost 2 medevacs worth of Marines.
It's still
basically for free, and still killed Rogue with the follow-up push not a minute later.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the main weaknesses with the build that Rogue was going for, is that unless you have enough Zerglings to absorb all the damage and force Maru to try and focus fire with every single Hydralisk, it's going to be really tricky to actually take those fights. And you can see Rogue, even when we would get a good fungal in on the Terran army, he couldn't actually capitalize on it because the Hydras just melt to those Siege Tanks.
Yeah. I mean, I love the tech from Rogue, but again, there's a reason why everybody's not doing that. It's cool when you see the fungal connect and work, but it's very hard. I mean, Marine tank is so strong with medevacs. Stim is so good for kiting. Tanks have so much range. Infestor, Hydra, and Link, there's some ideas there, but it seems like you have to execute that perfectly.
Yeah. Well, Rogue, it was an awesome series, but he will be falling to the losers match. Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we come back, the winners match here in the round of 8.
Makes you longer for a little change. A bit of something different in a different place. Somewhere the grass is greener. Call it a spiritual healer. I hear you, darling, I feel ya. Me and you, there's nothing we can't do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape. With the wind on our backs, we'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid. Come on, let's go fly away now. Come on, let's go fly away. I never feel lost even in the unknown. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, it feels like home. Feels like home. Me and you, there's nothing we can do together. Ooh.
GSL Season 1.
Hello, everybody. It's time for a little bit of Terran versus Terran. We've had so many good games today. I think this series is going to be no exception.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Cure versus Maru to decide first place here in Group A of the round of 8. The winner is going to be going directly into the round of 4. The offline finals here in the GSL. The loser will have to play in one more match versus either Classic or Rogue. And you know, I have to say, both Cure and Maru really impressing me so far today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the games have been great. Even Classic losing, like when he took the whole map, that was impressive. You know, it's been a very special day here. Well, look, I mean, when we take these two players who've got such a long history, one thing always stands out, and that's that Maru has been the dominant Terran in Korea. But in any given day of GSL, Cure has the opportunity to change that.
Yeah, it has happened a couple times recently, but Maru just historically the best TVT player we've ever seen in StarCraft 2's history. And as you said, Cure is good enough that he can always upset Maru, but he's been in Maru's shadow here in the GSL for a long, long time.
Look at Maru's light on the left. He points the light up.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You don't? Where do you point your light?
To the ground.
You point it on the ground.
I feel like it's a street light.
No, you want the indirect light, man. It
That's
builds,
a light that's meant to be pointed down, right? It curves to the side.
He should be pointing it at the walls, what he should be doing.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be more diffuse.
Okay, we got a middle ground here, State. All right, I can go with that. Guys, we're going to go to Winter Madness for Game 1. The winner moves on into the round of 4.
All right, Cure the Blue Terran.
Who's going to make barracks in the middle of the map?
More in the top left. I do love that we get to see the player cameras. It is fun analyzing everybody's room. There's also Maru, the setup that he has. It's barely off camera right now, but the gigantic air conditioner that he has like a foot away from his face. I had that exact same setup in my old apartment. It is so nice.
That's my stream room setup.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
The summers are so hot and humid in Korea. If you're from the United States, it's something more akin to a summer in like Florida or Texas, where it is just...
Yeah, Louisiana or somewhere like that, where it's...
You take a shower and then you walk outside and you're walking for 1 or 2 minutes and you feel like you need another shower. It is
it's funny. It's like when you come to Korea, you can experience any kind of weather, right? So I've had friends that have come here, like let's say a month or 2 ago, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's like Southern California," and I'm like, "Not always."
Yeah, for a couple of weeks.
I had other friends that came around winter, and they're like, "Well, it's so cold here." I'm like, "It's November." It's going to be, but you get the full range. But yeah, if you got a small room, like I think you have, or I think Maru has, because I know the same thing's in my stream room setup, you got to get one of those window units, AC, not pointed on you, but behind you, cools off the whole room. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, especially if you're playing a game like StarCraft. Those PCs are basically space heaters, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so we've got a block over here. Maru... interfering with this command center, or what he believes to be a command center being thrown down here. It's not actually happening. Just to be clear, they're both doing double racks.
I think it's just one barracks here for Maru. It's one racks into a factory.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're totally right. Kier went for double racks. So he kind of faked it out like, oh, look at me, I want to make a command center, oh no.
I like that move coming in here by Kier. Going to be throwing down a factory now as Maru is baking the minerals to build a command center. And I'm hoping for Maru's sake that he builds this in his main base, but looking at the mini-map right now, I think that's an SCV bet to build it in the natural expansion, and indeed he is. Maru still unaware it's 2 racks, but the Reaper sees both barracks, and like spotting the villain in a horror movie, immediately hightails it out of there. This is a dangerous situation now for Maru to be in, especially with the CC on the low ground.
Okay, he's going to go for the SCV, and this is the danger you face when you try to throw that command center on the low ground. There's no way to come in there and cover that. More Reapers are going to come up. He gets another kill. He goes for the Reaper. He backs back out. He will not lose a single unit.
Yeah, Maru with a Reaper couldn't even intercept this. Another Reaper gets taken out, and that might be enough damage that Kira can snowball this. With more Reapers coming across the map, Maru, at the very minimum, needs to cancel the command center, build it now at the high ground.
Kira playing the game of his life right now. The regen should be complete if he wants to run back in here for more. He's going to come in. Oh, that was a bad spot to go on. He went right on the corner of that plateau, and it bunched everything together, and the Hellion damage was too much.
Those Reapers jumping up the cliff, it was like they were trying to fit inside a clown car. The
Yeah.
Hellions just got the perfect shots on them. That's going to be enough for Maru to stabilize back at home. So both players now going for expansions. Kier, with the pressure that he's been able to exert up until this point, has secured himself a pretty safe natural expansion right on the low ground, and we already see the third gas being taken here at the natural. Meanwhile, Maru, he wants to play a very macro-focused game, we can tell, because you can't get the high ground or the low ground expansion of the natural, and so what does he do? He goes for a really fast third CC right in the main base. But you know, Tasteless, I see that fast third gas here for Cure, and I'm wondering if we might see him try and do a 2-base push, potentially with a second starport. It could be a killer build versus what Maru is doing right now.
So what exactly does Maru want to do here? I mean, you're playing from behind in a matchup where there's a lot of different things that can happen in the mid-game, right? I mean, any composition you can imagine you can get in TVT in the mid-game. They are both going for Disable here on the Ravens, which, by the way, has been very trendy TVT right now. I'm not always, privy to what the TVT meta is exactly, but everything I've been casting, I've been seeing a lot of this. A lot of mid-air Reapers getting killed, by the way.
Yeah, Maru's Reaper has been very unlucky this match. Another one got cleaned up trying to get the scout in the main base, and I think for Maru, he really wanted to get that Reaper into the main to confirm exactly what Kira is doing, because given how the early game went, I don't think Maru really wants to spend a scan checking the infrastructure right now of Kira. That would be very expensive at this stage.
So, for now, Maru's going to stay back. I wonder if this is going to be one of these games where they end up meeting in the middle of the map, which I've always said, it's like one of you guys is wrong. Be in the middle of the map and fight.
Could be, especially with Maru. Well, maybe not with Maru going for the fast third CC.
No, never mind.
I feel like he should be playing defensively, but
it's interesting to see Maru win for the third CC like this, by the way. And then Kiera goes for a third command center, but on the low ground. He's probably right to do that, by the way, because he's got the lead, from having the expansion denied earlier while his got up. Stim just now starting, by the way, for Maru.
Yeah, for both
and
players.
for Kiera. So they held back on Stim quite a bit, which means you're really not expecting to do anything crazy early on, which of course didn't happen. We didn't end up with any kind of fight in the middle of the map here. But he's going to push out, and I think what he wants to do is basically, because of the way this map's shaped, you can kind of control the 2 third base possible locations and just kind of delay it and try to inch ahead that way on your own development.
Yeah, we'll see how long it's going to be until Maru decides to try and secure that third expansion with the orbital. For now, just be sending some Hellions out, trying to get some damage done. Looking at the minimap, it does seem like Kira has a couple of units in position to intercept this. And that's a Hellion firing squad right there. Those Hellions gonna have to get out of there, man.
By the way, he might have no idea that this attack's coming just because he saw those units there.
Yeah, this is gonna be tricky. But I think for now, Maru...
this is gonna be so funny when he lands that there. It's like...
Maru's just now reaching 2-base saturation. He's a little bit past it with the 50 SCVs.
Oh.
He will spot this with the Hellions. That's a very important scout, I think, here for Maru. The game is just going to continue to be a little bit quiet here. Both players just trying to develop on their respective sides of the map. Kira, after getting spotted by those Hellions, seems like he just wants to apply a little bit of soft pressure. Just delay Maru as long as possible for securing that third base, because even though Maru did get the third command center up much faster than Kira, Kira's already mining from it at the third. It's on location. His mineral saturation is going to be more efficient than Maru as a result. You see that if you look at the mineral tab at the bottom, plus 3,000 or so minerals a minute for Kira. Maru at around 2.1K.
Okay, he is still roaming here. I mean, Maru is much smaller. He is in a very, very difficult position here. And the question is, how do you deal with what's on the map? He's going to send... Okay, I was going to say... No, is he going to do this? This could actually, I think, well, let's see what happens. He's going to send these across the map. He'll be able to throw auto turrets down and kill workers, but if I was Kira, I would look at this and go, I'm going to beeline across the map and just disable all your tanks and kill you. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the Vikings are going to catch this right now. Cyclone's already locked onto the first Raven, so Maru, he probably has to get out of here. There's no dead airspace with the Vikings involved. As Disable's going to come in, that's going to prevent any auto turrets from being dropped now by Maru, and the Vikings getting to work already. 2 of these Ravens have been cleaned up. The last one's going to throw down maybe 2 auto turrets here. And
my favorite thing, auto turrets shooting each other.
Getting a little bit of damage to the barracks. Yeah. That's what Maru's going to net from what were the most expensive units in his army composition up until this point.
I can't believe he did that. I guess, honestly, this is like a really bad game to play.
Yeah, and now Maru's going to try and get a little bit aggressive with the Marines, or at least probe through the center of the map. I don't know. If I'm in Maru's position in this game right now, I think after losing those Ravens, I'm just going to try and make this game as long as possible to slowly mitigate the advantage that Kier's got.
Yeah, this is rough. And, you know, Kier, it's a very straightforward game. He doesn't have a lot of tough decisions that he has to make right now. Maru's going to come through here. And remember, there's not a whole lot here with this, like as far as support. So, I mean, I don't know what he can really do here. I mean, Maru's going to back up, which is probably the right move. No 4th base for Kier yet. We see a small fight. Looks like Maru took what of that angle he could work with. But now we're going to see the flank come in here. This is going to shave off a decent amount of that army over there. There's tanks on the high ground.
Supplies relatively equal, but Kier with a lot more army supply right now. About 25 in Kier's advantage. Ravens quite low on energy, and I think one of those Ravens even maybe a little bit low on HP here for Kier, so got to be careful. A couple of clutch disables here for Kier if those Ravens eventually get back up to max energy. I think Kier should be able to push in if he wants to. But it is a tricky position with Maru only on 3 bases, with 7 siege tanks, with a high ground advantage. I think both players are recognizing the game is likely not going to be ending in the next few minutes because each of them just threw down multiple Stargates. 2 starports now for Maru. I think 1 just finished up here for Kier. So we're going to have a little bit of a Sky Terran transition.
Yeah, and, you know, the question is going to be, did Kier wait too long to do anything here? He's maxed out. He can't make any more units. A lot of times this is a great moment to attack and free up supply. Try to squeeze your opponent before they can catch up to you. He shaves off a little bit more with the splash damage from the tanks. He's going to inch in further. 2-2 is about to finish.
2-2 done now for Kier. Those Ravens much higher in energy. Still 1 Raven very low on HP. Got to watch out for Maru doing the target fire. He will get the snipe in. Only 1 siege tank disabled, it looks like. Okay, a couple more disables coming through. But right now, Maru standing strong here. Kier has not been able to find the window. And with air superiority on Maru's side, I don't think that Kier will have an easy time breaking into that 4th base.
Yeah, I mean, Maru's sealed up, right? He can't really, you know, be broken here. And I don't know that Kier is matching the expansions here. 3-3 started for both sides, so they're going to be even on upgrades there. It is a very rigid game here, positionally. Like, nobody's really budging. Kier's definitely got map control, but he's not asserting it. He doesn't want to overextend.
I think
this is just painful to see units try to squeeze through there.
Yeah, please take down those
it
rocks.
Really, yeah, please kill those rocks. It feels like now you're on the other side of that. You cannot get back to that side unless you kill those rocks.
This army looks like it was run through a rolling pin.
Right, yeah.
This long little line.
Just smushed dough.
Oh, this is a nice angle if you're going to come in. But again, he doesn't have air superiority, so the Liberator is eventually going to shoo everything away. I mean, so much of TVT is about air superiority. And Maru, when do these units move across the map? I don't even see a medevac. Able to get some damage done. Sniping Vikings, getting 5 SCVs. Oh, those Marines traded very well here for Maru. Anything you can do to slow down the air growth here of Kier is going to make your position so much easier from Maru's perspective. And oh, look at this Tasteless. Every single medevac getting fully loaded right now. Kier is going to try and drop in the natural expansion.
Yeah, I mean, where's he going to go? I guess he wants to try to target the natural again, or maybe go into the main from here. Now, there's a lot of Vikings up here, just below where these medevacs are. This is super high risk. I feel like Cure kind of had a winning position and didn't know where to take the game. And so now he's going to have to take a high risk. And, you know, Maru's going to come up here. Huge amount of siege tanks sieging up.
Maru rebuilt the Ravens. There's disables on every single siege tank of Cure. Only one of them getting any shots in right now. Maru with a pretty significant arc of Marines, able to clean everything up. And after this gigantic swing,
I mean, now it's actually Maru slightly ahead in supply. Army supply, by the way, for Maru, much bigger. Cure, I think, really blundered that game. And now I'm not totally sure where this is going to go. Again, Cure was doing so well, and he just sort of didn't know what his move was. He kind of sat around, and then he impulsively loaded up the medevacs. The medevacs flew in, everything got killed. And Maru is steadily continuing to balloon out on the map here.
Well, we mentioned it earlier, the early game was so bad for Maru that likely the best play is to just try and defend and make the game as long as possible to make that early advantage as small as possible, and that's what Maru's done. He's been able to convert it, and he's navigated his army composition so well. I mean, he is basically playing a Met comp right now. He almost has more siege tanks than Marines. There's only 16 Marines on the map. He's not making any more. He's only making the power units. Siege tanks, Vikings, a couple of Liberators here and there, a couple of Ravens, actually all the way up to 8 Ravens now. And so in terms of army composition, Cure, he is much more mobile with a higher Marine count that he's got, but I find it hard to see any angle of attack that he can really capitalize because Maru's army in a head-on engagement is just so much more robust.
Okay, so Cure's just going to keep growing. We're going into insane macro TVT territory here. And you know, I'm not sure what the move is, honestly. You know, sometimes in Terran vs. Terran, when you get big enough, it's like, maybe I should wait for him to attack and then deal with that and then be the one to make the next move here. Maru going to clear out the spot up here at the top. Cure is still expanding pretty steadily. 67 workers, by the way, to 69, so a slight worker lead, but I guess that's pretty insignificant when you have this many orbitals.
Cure and Maru are going to be meeting
by the rocks that were never destroyed.
Surprised they still haven't gotten taken down. Instead, Maru going to go up the high ground here. Low stack defense, getting set up by Cure. I like this move because the Ravens, they want to get in range to disable all these things if Maru decides he wants to push in. Cure already has the higher Viking count. So anything he can do to solidify his position in the air is going to make things a lot easier. Some nice disables come in for Cure, but again, it's hard to push through. It's all about this air battle. 24 Vikings secure to the 17 of Maru.
Okay, so, I mean, where is Maru going to try to take this game? You know, the Viking count is, in some ways, the most important part here. Cure having way more, by the way. Oh, hold on. He's going to end up with the Vikings kind of split, though. How does this pan out? I guess some of the other... Oh, he's going to move in here with the siege tanks, and Cure is so disabled right now. The tanks can't fire. The Marines are going to pour through and destroy everything.
Cure's army just collapsed.
Dude,
the Ravens came in, everything was disabled. The armor-shredding missile on the Vikings, and look at the supplies.
He's so much better at TVT. It's insane to me.
Maru is just the TVT god.
You know, it's funny, because we talk about how Cure's like #2 all the time, and it's like, maybe he's going to do it this time. I don't think it's going to be this time. I mean, you could just see Maru like understands how these armies interact so much better that it is almost awe-inspiring. I mean, Cure, I don't even know that, well, he definitely did something wrong, right? But it's also clear that Maru did everything right.
Maru's just the master of navigating late-game TVT. GG called, and oh, that was a rough one, honestly, Tasteless. The way that early game went, everything was in Cure's advantage. He had the faster third base. He had the trade where it felt like Maru lost every single Reaper for basically nothing.
Yeah.
The natural expansion was canceled. SCVs went down. Oh, that was a dismal start for Maru, and he just decided, you know what, this is a terrible early game. I can't have any presence on the map. I just need to defend. As long as I block everything that Cure tries to throw at me and get to a late game, I'm confident I will be better. And that confidence was well placed. Maru just masterfully navigating his army composition, going from the bio tank start all the way up into basically Sky Terran. I mean, it was mech there at the end for Maru. We had maybe a dozen Marines in total on the field.
Maru with the big bottle of water, staying hydrated.
It's very important. Stay hydrated whether you're casting or playing.
Yeah.
It's critical.
Reminds me, I gotta drink some water.
Have some water, Tasteless.
I'm gonna
because
be like
game-
Maru. I'm gonna cast the way that Maru plays this next game. Honestly, though, Maru looks so much stronger TVT that it is mind-boggling to me. How I have no confidence in Cure at all anymore.
All right, game number 2, loaded up. Maru leading this best of 3, 1-0. Maru spawning in the bottom left is the red Terran Cure, the blue Terran in the top right. And yeah, it wasn't a very confidence-inspiring performance from Cure. I mean, the early game was superb there for Cure, but not being able to convert that into a win is, it's brutal, honestly. It makes me wonder if, moving forward in this series, we're going to see a little bit more timing attack-focused styles coming out from Cure, because looking at that game number 1, after he had the early game advantage, I thought for sure that he was going to be doing the 2 starport push that we often see, where you go for a lot of Vikings, you added maybe just 1 or 2 Liberators to slowly creep forward, and you try to push the other Terran on their side of the map with sheer air superiority. But for some reason, Cure instead opted to go for the 3rd command center. He decided to slow the game down and try and convert the lead that way. I just find it hard to take down Maru in any sort of macro TVT.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you get these huge armies, in StarCraft 2 specifically, moving them is like so complicated, right? I mean, you have all these abilities that can happen, be activated super fast. You know, you got Siege Mode, you got Stim, you've got Vikings that can land or pick back up and go into the air, the disables on the Ravens. I mean, there's just so much going on. And when you see someone who's got basically roughly the same composition and is able to move in and like wipe out, 60 army supply of his opponent and keep his own, that's insane.
Maru just seems like he always knows the correct mix of units to have at each stage of the game. And it's not even specifically a TVT thing. We saw this earlier versus Rogue in TBZ, where he pivoted from going into siege tanks to reactoring out Widow Mines and basically going pure Marine, adding in a couple of Thors to counter exactly what the unit composition was of his opponent. Oh my goodness, even winning this trade right now, that SCV going to survive here for Maru. So free little SCV pickup. Although I say that, the Reaper is in hot pursuit and might be able to chase this one down. Maru not protecting it with the Reaper.
Oh!
That could have been so cool there for Maru, but instead Cure will even things up.
Can he get the SCV? Nah, not with the Marine coming up like that too. So, a little bit of back and forth here at the start. The factory's further along here since tech was prioritized here for Maru.
Maru's command center now finishing. Another SCV will fall as a result of this.
I meant to say that tech was prioritized there for Cure.
Oh, and Cure's going to push out the ramp. He is able to trade out the Reapers.
Sorry, guys, it's hard. These guys are both playing the same race after all.
It's crazy.
It's craziness.
How do we tell who's who?
Who's who, man? Yeah, they're both Terran. They're both playing humans. This is nuts. So a little bit of pressure for Maru. He's going to eventually be able to drive this away. But Cure's going to keep rallying Hellions as well as Reapers and see if he can't get some damage off. Even the SCV being jettisoned in for the attack if he needs to use it. The mine's going to hit. It bounces the Marines, and actually the Hellion gets hit.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky position now for Maru. These Marines very low on HP. The damage is so evenly distributed among Cure's units. 2 more Hellions will pop, and that's going to allow Maru to stabilize. But a very good trade here for Cure. 2 more SCVs get taken out. He was able to clean up those Marines as well. That's about the best possible trade you can ask for, I think, with those Reapers early on. The game's probably going to quiet down a little bit more now. Maru going into Ravens with Interference Matrix. Cure starting Ravens of his own on the other side of the map, and the 3rd command center on both sides.
Yeah. I think we're going to have something like what we saw, not like in the result of the last game, but in the development, where, it's going to be the Ravens with the disable, kind of ballooning out into more and more infantry here. This game is different in that, I think Cure got a pretty substantial lead early on, and was able to keep it. And I think, by the way, like the first third or the first fourth of the game, he played really well. The problem is he didn't know where to send the game from there. And that's tough. And, you know, to Maru's credit, Maru played so turtly. Like, there wasn't anything obvious to do. I almost think in the last game, Cure should have expanded more. Like, sometimes when you play against a Giga Turtle, you got to, like, try to grow a little bit faster.
Maybe. It is a bit tricky, though, right? Because say he expands more, that's going to mean that he has to focus his economy a little bit more on minerals. And then if you're doing that, sure, you're going to max out faster than Maru, but your army's going to be lower tech. Maru's already trying to play this army style where he's going to have a lot more siege tanks, a lot more ravens. And so say Kira does that, and then it's the same position where he tries to break through onto Maru's side of the map, and he just trades out inefficiently, kind of the same way that we saw Classic versus Kira earlier on today.
True.
It's very tricky to solve that kind of problem when a player of Maru's caliber is just trying to play a long defensive macro game, because the real skill there for Maru is his insight, his intuition in terms of how to navigate his army composition, where to position everything, how to deal with all the different attacks that Kira can throw at him. And as long as Maru plays it well, the defender's advantage is pretty huge.
Yeah,
and so
it's true.
I'm trying to think of what, like you, Kira could have done to make that situation a little bit better. And I think maybe the biggest mistake was perhaps the attack going into the natural expansion. I mean, that Doom drop got basically nothing done. Every single siege tank except one was disabled.
Definitely the wrong move. That was sort of like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like this game's getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm going to YOLO in here. And, I mean, from there, I think the game was a lot easier here for Maru.
Oh, certainly.
So Maru's going to move back on the map. He might try to poke the third base and punt the command center back up into the main. Sometimes if you get in there before everything's set up, you can get away with this. Now, he's going to send the Ravens in a different direction. I almost forgot that Maru sent those 4 Ravens across the map weirdly and lost everything.
It was a bizarre game.
Yeah, there were a lot of weird moments. Okay, so...
oh, Maru's doing it back. This time he's running it back, and I think this time he's getting what he was hoping for. But
yeah.
Cure, this is his moment to capitalize. He knows that Maru just spent a lot of Raven energy on getting SCV damage done. Cure also going to lose a couple of SCVs here at the third base. The Hellion run by getting more done. And now Cure, I think the pressure is on to get something accomplished with this army right now. Maru identifies this. Cure, it seems like he still doesn't realize.
Oh, God, he's not moving this. Okay, hold up. He's going to come in and try to hit the disable on the tank. The auto turret's coming down. SCVs are pulled, but there is so much here for Cure.
Maru, those Ravens being low on energy and out of position, really complicating the defense back at home. He was able to get a lot of SCV damage done through harassment, but now it's Cure with an army at Maru's front door, getting a lot of damage done himself. Maru going to try and pivot down to the natural expansion with the dropships. Cure going to seize that opportunity. Instead, dive in on that siege tank with the Marines, able to take it out. 1-1 about to finish on both sides. Cure just a little bit faster with the upgrade, so these Marines are trading very effectively with these SCVs. 34 SCVs have fallen now for Maru. The army for Cure, it's starting to run out of steam a little bit as the economic disruption that Maru got done early is starting to really pay off, but
I was wondering.
34 SCVs.
I was wondering when the if there was going to be a penalty for using those Ravens like that. Because when we saw this push coming out, I'm like, well, I know what Ravens are going to be used for with the push. When you see Ravens alone moving out, you know it's going to be for auto turret. But of course, you know, when the Marines are here and they can gun down the tank, suddenly you're able to get a much better position. Maru's going to throw down these turrets and use SCVs to defend. He's going to send his drop back to try to fight this, and that's not going to cut it. GG, Cure wins game 2. Very interesting TVTs here. Yeah, you know, I don't like that Maru both games is doing this auto turret stuff when I think that it's clear, you know, 3 base, you've got tanks, you've got Marines with stim. You know, you have whatever else is left over, like a Cyclone or a Hellion, but are the auto turrets ever going to be worth it if they can disable all your tanks in a push? You're going to lose SCVs. You have to use the SCVs to help defend, right? This could be Cure's game now. Who knows?
As long as he's able to play a shorter game, I mean, Cure does seem like he has been having the better early game so far in this series, both in game 1 and in game 2. And I'm right there with you with the Ravens. I mean, I'm sure for Maru in practice, this has been working more often than it has not been working. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing it here. 1 series away from going to the offline finals. But so far, Cure has just had very good answers to the 4 or 3 Raven run-bys that Maru's been trying to go for. Or even when he's able to get some damage done, Cure capitalizing, seizing the moment, pushing across the map, is able to tie up the score. Now we're going to go into map number 3. Tourmaline here, Cure and Maru. Winner going on to the round of 4 in the offline finals in the GSL. Loser going to fall into the final match of this group.
Okay. On to a greener map. The SCV is sent out, and it's going to be a proxy Rax. Do we have a second SCV that's going to come? Maru's going to make the depot here on the high ground. Yes.
Oh, is it going to be a proxy 2-Rax here for Cure?
Yeah.
You know, we kept talking about how he should focus on trying to end these games early versus
I
Maru.
think that's the way. That's the play. You know what happens if you win with a rush like this? You don't have to worry about endgame state.
Oh, and I love the positioning, too. This is so aggressive.
It's so dirty.
Right where the third base would be here for Maru as the first barracks is thrown down.
When you see this rush, you got to watch for the 3 Reapers that come out versus the 1 Reaper that Maru has. Because if the 3 Reapers kill the 1 Reaper that Maru has before Maru's second Reaper comes out, usually the game spirals.
Yeah, Maru has to keep the first Reaper alive, and he also has to scout this relatively quickly. He is sending an SCV cross map. This has been pretty typical for Maru in his TVTs so far in this GSL. He tries to maybe disrupt the expansion timing of his opponent, or at least get some scouting information on his opponent. But unfortunately for Maru, I feel like he's going to be realizing a little bit too late what is happening when he gets to the main base of Cure. But at least he isn't at risk of losing this first Reaper.
Okay.
Oh, and I love the SCV timing here by Cure. He's trying to make this look normal.
Yeah, he's like, look at me.
if Maru had not sent the SCV to Cure's main base, he might be fooled by this maneuver.
Yeah. So he's sending the other SCV back. So you look at this and you go, okay, something's going to hit me really hard. The command center started here. There's a depot on the ledge.
Yeah, Maru still doesn't know exactly what's coming. He knows it's Proxy Reaper. He doesn't know how many Reapers it's going to be, so the SCVs have to get pulled. And for Maru, it's all about establishing this bunker here on the high ground. The SCVs are on a meat shield, makes the micro very tricky here for Cure.
Oh my god, he needs to start getting the regen. He has to have a perfectly straight line. Oh, the SCV! Doesn't do it.
Oh my goodness. Just barely. Just barely. I didn't regen to 1 HP.
It did reset the auto heal.
Oh, this slowed things down for Cure so much. This is Cure's window to try and get some damage done with the 2-Rax opening.
Yeah.
Instead, the bunker is done already.
That might have actually held the rush. That might actually just do it, because now he has to go all the way back.
Heroic SCV from Maru, just really slowing things down. And now Cure's going to have to transition. You know, Björn said this in one of the GSL interviews after his series where he feels like a proxy 2-Rax opening in TVT is kind of a macro opening. I think that was the series versus Bunny. You can transition out of it. It's not a completely all maneuver, but the way that Maru's been able to defend this in the early game so far has been looking really, really good. His command center, the main base, if it's not done now, it will be finishing in just a moment. Gotta be careful of this Reaper, though. Grenade, I think, keeping it alive.
But what are you going to get done over here? Okay, he's going to come in. He's going to try to kill off some of these SCVs here. Not quite able to get a one-shot off, so he has to two-shot them. If you can get enough where you're one-shotting stuff, sometimes you can make it work.
That was pretty good there for Cure. Able to shave off 4 more SCVs.
But he is done with the attack. The barracks are lifted off. He's going to always send one back to the main. The other goes into the opponent's main to kind of scout and see what the tech is, and you can try to counter that.
That was some much-needed damage there for Cure. If he wasn't able to convert these Reapers into any sort of early-game damage here on Maru, I would have been really concerned about his position. Instead, able to take down, I think, 5 SCVs in total, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to tie things up quite nicely. Maru does have the faster command center, but I think once the orbital is done here for Cure, things are going to mostly normalize. There should be a near even worker count.
So where does the game go from here? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. It is going to be Cure with a fresh base landed. There is an extra command center here for Maru in his main, so it's not like he's on one base, really. He just hasn't taken his expansion, but he's able to produce workers at the same rate.
What do you think about this empty medevac being boosted across the map, by the way? He's doing it where Cure would see it. I initially thought this was him trying to shoo those Reapers back at home to try and defend against the drop, but this might just be a cheaper scan for Maru. There's nothing in the early game besides the Cyclone, which unless it gets a full duration lock on, it's not going to be able to clean up this medevac. So, cute little move here by Maru, just getting a little bit more scouting information. Notably, he checked to see if there was going to be a third command center. He couldn't get deep enough to actually check the infrastructure, you know, what units that Cure is going for, but he did spot no third CC. And this is going to be the 2 starport opening here for Cure, so he's going to be building up for a timing push.
I love it. I think this is how he has to play. He's going to be able to take this game. Now, I don't think, well, I mean, let's keep all the possibilities open, but I don't think he's going to send Ravens across the map and do the auto turret thing. I think that's so on its face like a bad move, especially now that we're in a game like this.
I hope for Maru's sake that he doesn't, because I don't think it will pay off in this circumstance, especially with what is inevitably going to be a 2-base push coming in from Cure, maybe with a really delayed third command center, just to hedge his bets a little bit here, but the push, or the game plan here for Cure is all about the push at the third base here for Maru. It's going to be him trying to leverage a higher Viking count and using that to push for a victory. And Maru still doesn't know. He only knows there isn't a third command center, which does telegraph to him that it's likely going to be some kind of early pressure, but keep in mind, Cure, over the course of this entire series, has been opting for the later CCs, but still macroing with a command center on the low ground. So now Maru is checking the low ground expansion here at the third base once more with a medevac. Cyclone locking on, I think, should be able to clean this up.
Nice, takes that out. One less asset that Maru's going to have when this push hits. Cure's going to be moving out. But remember that this is not a moment where the Ravens were thrown away, at least the Raven energy wasn't thrown away here for Maru. And it's going to all be about breaking this position. Where? There's one tank under the Ravens. Where are the rest of the tanks?
I don't know if we have another tank here for Maru. Yeah, it's one siege tank.
Unbelievable.
Oh, this is going to be...
Done. Oh, my God.
This is going to be a tough hold.
Oh, I think he sieged up too far away, though. That almost seemed like a little bit too much of a wiggly move.
Perhaps just wanted to
get a little bit closer.
Perhaps just want to get on top of that bunker
I
first.
guess he doesn't know how many tanks are there, right? Like,
yeah.
So 2 tanks are up. Now 2 Ravens can disable 2 tanks.
Oh, the Vikings landing actually.
Oh, here we go.
Expecting the SCV pull coming in from Maru. All the SCVs going into the Vikings right now. Disables on almost every single siege tank here from Cure, but Cure just has a little bit too much.
Cure's so nasty. These disables are going to dissipate, and that's going to be it. He can come in here and kill up the last tank. It's 4 tanks to none.
The Vikings even cleaning up a good number of those siege tanks right now. Cure with effectively a mech push coming in again. Maru, he pulls the SCVs one more time, but his supply, it's going to dip below 50.
Oh my God, Cure did it. Cure's going to go on to the round of 4. I love this. That was, okay, GG. Wow. What's up? Cure wins. Oh my God.
That was pretty sick.
Oh my God.
That was awesome, Tasteless. I mean,
that was great.
Cure, this entire series had had such good early games, and even in game number 3 where Maru had a pretty good idea of what was going on, you know, he sent this out scouting SCV before his first Reaper was done. He identified that there's going to be some kind of proxy
Discord is off, by the way. That call is over. Did you see him turn that off?
I did, Tasteless. Oh, man. Cure, great build, great execution in game number 3. He's going to be the first player going into the round of 4.
I mean, well-deserved. He played incredibly. I don't know. It was interesting, the switch all the way from game 1 into game 3 and how Cure, I think he played into his strengths by going for the kill in the early game. And I think Maru, against some questionable tech there.
And he made some very smart adjustments. And I especially like coming out with that build in game number 3, because in game 1 and game 2, there were some early game shenanigans from Cure, but it was pretty tame. He was opting for the macro games, and he really let Maru kind of lean into playing greedily. Yeah. And then you go and you just pull the rug out from under him there in game number 3. You completely subvert the expectation of Maru, which is Cure's going to expand a little bit later, but he still will expand. Instead, Cure going for effectively an all-in timing a push, able to take out Maru a very impressive way.
We're going to go to the interview now and see how Cure is feeling.
Congratulations, Cure. You're the first player to advance from the round of 4 into the finals weekend here at the GSL. How are you feeling?
일단 김덕 선수 승리 축하드리고요. 4강에 진출하시게 되셨는데 소감이 좀 어떠신지 궁금합니다. 네.
사실 연습 때 그렇게 승률이 좋지 못하고 또 상대들이 상대다 보니까 좀 걱정도 많이 하고 좀 쉽게 질 수도 있겠다 이런 생각이 조금씩 들긴 했어요. 최근에 좀 기세도 안 좋다 보니까. 근데 좀 생각한 대로 좀 한 판 한 판 다 최상의 시나리오로 딱 나온 것 같아서 저만 좀 정신 차리면 이길 수 있는 상황이 나왔던 것 같아요.
Yeah, before the matches, actually, my feeling was a little low because actually I didn't have any good win rates in practices, and also I have to face these giants. So yeah, I was a little worried myself, but that being said, all the pieces were falling into place in every game. So let's just keep it up and just keep it steady, and then I can make it. So I think that's what helped me a lot to get through this.
So in game number 1 versus Maru, it felt like Maru just had the edge in the long macro game. But whenever there were early game fights, like in game 2 and game 3, you were really able to build that momentum up. Do you think your early game is your strength right now in TVT?
사실 조성수 선수와의 1세트 대결에서는 좀 후반 가면서 좀 조성수 선수에게 밀리는 좀 부분이 있었는데, 그래도 2, 3세트에서는 초반에 계속 유리한 부분을 가져가시면서 그걸 토대로 이제 게임을 계속 굴려가시는데 성공을 하셨어요. 그래서 지금 김덕 선수가 보시기에는 좀 초반이 훨씬 더 좀 자신 있는 부분이라고 좀 여기시는지 궁금하네요.
패태전이 워낙 초중반에 좀 많이 갈려서 오늘은 좀 제가 가위바위보 싸움에서 좀 이겨서 초중반에 이득을 볼 수 있는 상황이 많이 나와서 그래서 중후반을 안 갈 수 있는 경기가 많이 나왔던 것 같아요.
Yeah, I think especially in TVP, the early games is actually a very essential part of the game. So that being said, I think I won all the mind games and build fights. So I think that helped me a lot getting through that.
Going on into the round of 4, what are your goals and expectations for this season of GSL?
이제 4강 오프라인 또 결승에 진출하신 만큼 또 기대가 남다르실 것 같은데 4강전을 앞두고 좀 어떤 기대를 좀 하고 싶으신지, 어떤 기대를 좀 하실지 궁금합니다.
지금 온라인으로 하는데도 대회가 좀 그렇게 많지도 않고 정말 큰 대회다 보니까 온라인인데도 불구하고 굉장히 긴장을 많이 했었는데 이번 오프라인 경기도 좀 긴장도 많이 될 것 같고 좀 기대도 되고 좀 옛날 생각도 많이 나면서 재밌는 경기 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was online, I was very nervous because GSL is one of the biggest tournament in StarCraft tournament in a year, and there's not much of a big tournaments. So even if it was online, I was very nervous. So that being said, I mean, I would be nervous on the offline as well, but I'll try to remind of the past memories and try to enjoy myself.
We're looking forward to casting your games, and best of luck to you in the Final Four.
네.
All right, we did. Okay. Wait.
You cast the games now, Cure.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for the first player who survived and moved on into the round of 4, but there's one more spot left. Before we go to that part of the tournament, we need to go and find out who's going to be eliminated first. Coming up next, a PVZ Classic versus Rogue.
makes you longer for a little change. A bit of something different in a different place. Somewhere the grass is greener. Call it a spiritual healer. I hear you, darling, I feel ya. Me and you, there's nothing we can't do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape with the wind on our backs. We'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid. Come on, let's go fly away now. Come on, let's go fly away. I never feel lost even in the unknown. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, it feels like home. Feels like home. Me and you, there's nothing we can do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape with the wind on our backs. We'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid.
GSL Season 1.
Welcome back, everybody. Classic Rogue coming your way. One of these two is about to be knocked out. And I don't know. I'm curious how this exactly is going to look. We were talking a little bit on break, but I'll kind of fill everybody in state. You were saying Rogue, he does go for just ending the game fast. Doesn't seem to want to do the macro ZVP. I can't say that I blame him.
Yeah, he's been favoring these really aggressive builds. He did it last week in the GSL. He's kind of been doing it this week versus Maru too, playing some quite unique styles, trying to find some timing attack windows, and he's been looking really good. I know that he dropped the first series to Maru, 1-2, but Rogue was so impressive in that first series. I honestly think this guy just keeps getting better and better since he returned from military service, and I'm expecting a banger of a match between these two. A classic, he has been so on point in PvZ lately. And with Rogue playing the kind of games that he is, putting in the work, the prep, the way that he's been doing for these GSL matches too, it's really been paying off.
Okay, Classic, who's been having an incredible run, is up against the ropes right now, is in literally on almost any given year, this would be one of the hardest GSL groups ever.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is insane how tough this is. No disrespect to Group B or anything, but I mean,
it's just crazy.
Can you make a better group than this? I don't know that you can.
Like, wind back the clock to any year in the past 5 or 6 or maybe more.
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe
Classic
like 10,
Cure, Maru, and Rogue is just an incredible lineup. And unfortunately, one player has to be eliminated. This is going to be the first elimination match here in the group as we're getting ready to go to 10,000 feet in just a minute here for map number 1. But my goodness, it has been a treat to cast these games so far, Tasteless, and I have no expectations for who's going to win this series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Classic, you know, he hasn't played poorly. Kira, I think, played one of the best days of StarCraft 2 I've ever seen him play. Honestly, Rogue looked really good. Rogue bringing a lot of styles out here. Are we going to have a big range of ZVP play here as well?
I think we might. We was talking about last week how in this preparations now tournament where you have a week between your matches, Rogue is able to use that time to come up with creative builds, specifically tailored to try and deal with his opponent's strategies.
He's going to go for a perfect Adept stop with Hydra Infester. Okay, fungal.
Run it back.
Somehow just get it out perfectly where the Adepts can't shade at all. I don't know how he's going to get it out that early.
That's a bold prediction, man. Infester's in time for the first Adept push.
Betting $1,000.
I'll take that bet.
$1,000 is going to happen.
I'll take that bet, Tasteless.
I'm so confident that's what he's going to do.
I'm down. I'm down. All right. Well, Classic just making sure he has his phone in position to record his screen. Anti-cheat measures that you have here for online tournaments. I was surprised you pointed this out. I had no idea that's what they were doing.
I think it's what it is.
I think it has to be. I mean, you can see Rogue also right to the side of his shoulder has his phone set up as well. Classic.
He went with vertical instead of horizontal.
Oh, it doesn't bode well.
Or sorry, horizontal instead of vertical. Everyone
Actually,
knows.
they're both horizontal, yeah.
Oh,
landscape
wow.
photographers
Landscape photography. I thought it was 2026. I thought it was all set it to vertical. All right, so 1,000 or 10,000 feet, 1,000,000 feet. Why don't you? Classic versus Rogue coming up here. The countdown has started. Classic takes a sip of his tea. Let's get into this game. Remember that the loser is out. The winner goes on to face off against Maru. Oh,
that's gonna be a tough match.
It's gonna be brutal, man.
Our game is loading in. Let's continue on the round of 8 Group 8 here with the elimination match.
All right, Classic here in the bottom right and Rogue here in the top left.
I'm so curious what kind of games, I should say, we're going to be getting from Rogue, because he has been dishing out some really creative builds this entire GSL. He was doing the same thing in RSL, just playing completely offbeat from it feels like what the Zerg meta is, making things work that it feels like they shouldn't work.
Yeah.
It's been so refreshing to watch.
I've always enjoyed how he played this. I've always said that, one thing about Rogue is that he's not like watching other Zergs and going, oh, that's what I'll do. Like, he really seems to just kind of know how to think about this game and look at it and approach it the right way.
He has a very unique style of Zerg play. It feels like more than anybody else, in terms of pro players today, Rogue utilizes every single piece of the Zerg arsenal. I mean, we saw Hydra Ling versus Maru. We saw near Pure Muta versus Maru. Roach Ravager and a Swarm Host versus Maru. There have been so many creative builds that Rogue has gone for just today.
Yeah. But now we go into PvZ here. A very different matchup. You can even see, by the way, that it's funny because the probe came at a weird angle, and I was wondering for a second, I'm like, would you ever hide a pylon there? And then we saw the drone actually run up there and just check, like, wait a minute, just in case. Okay, there's nothing there. How many games have we had? I think I've had 2 games in my life that I've casted where someone just makes a pylon in the main, and then way later on, stuff warps in. I think it was Huck one game and Parting another game.
Of course it would be Huck and Parting.
Yeah.
It's the most obvious 2 players ever to do that.
You can tell I'm not lying.
For Huck probably did on Metalopolis behind the little box screen in the main base. Yeah, you don't see it too often. That was all the rage back in 2010, 2011. People loved hiding pylons at the base.
Well, it's one of those dirty plays when you figure it out, you go, oh, this feels so good when it wins. Yeah. But it's one of those things that gets weeded out. You get high enough in the ladder, you're like, you can't do this anymore.
Well, also, main bases are just constructed differently now. Like the map makers, it feels like they don't usually have a spot like on 10,000 feet where you can hide something like that. It feels like every main base, maybe not every main base, but it seems like they're almost cut and paste in terms of the size and the general dimensions.
Right.
I would like to see a little bit more variance, but it can be tricky to balance with things like Blink.
I think what happened is like we had too much craziness in any RTS game, like over time. Oh, nice surround here. In any RTS game, if given enough time, they tend to figure out basically what's fair, but then it tends to lean too much into fair and kind of generic and formulaic and boilerplate, and that's when you got to get map makers to kind of test what we can do, you know.
Yeah, it's complicated to find a balance.
Right.
I don't envy map makers. Their job seems very
Well, here's
difficult.
what's funny is like, if I ladder, I don't want to play on new maps either. Or weird maps. I go, no, this is not what I know, at least the maps that I know. You know, I don't want to put myself out there.
I'm the same way.
If pro gamers had their way, the maps would be very, very formulaic. And there's been periods they really have had their way, and the maps were very much, you know, played out. But I think it's always important for a tournament to kind of have the balancing act of you know, meeting the needs of both while keeping it fresh.
All right, well, the first Oracle is out on the map here for Classic, and with no third hatchery even done yet for Rogue, he's going for another, effectively, 2-hatch opening here. Oracle's just going to come back home. No damage to be found on Rogue's side of the map. And it's interesting to me that Rogue goes for this approach in CVP as well. He's so conservative and relatively low drone count, too, across all of his games. In every single matchup, it's a lot of fun to watch. So we'll find an angle to get a couple of drone kills, plus not the Spore Crawler, the Creep Tumor. So some nice harassment here for Classic, but in total, 2 drones for 2 Oracles. I think you're expecting to get a little bit more done.
+1 melee attack is coming here. We've got some more gateways going down here. And, you know, it's a little bit hard to see for now what Protoss wants to do, other than probably power up and push. You know, Blink is, you know, it's kind of the go-to tech here. He does, with the 2 Oracles, have the opportunity to kind of do that style we know Hero likes to do. I think Hero really kind of made that his style of play, but everybody kind of does it now.
4 more gateways in production. Gonna be a lot of Blink Stalkers on the map. I think might have even seen another Oracle in production as well. So likely gonna be a lot of pressure coming out from Classic in just a few moments. And oh, look at this City, even walling off. He knows that nothing is safe versus Rogue. That mineral wall could get mined out. You never know what kind of tricks that Rogue has up his sleeve.
Okay, now he's going to clear this Overlord out here. And Rogue going on to 5 bases.
Yeah, so this tells me that he is going to want to play basically pure Ling here. He needs as much larva as possible because there's no earthly way that Rogue is going to be able to saturate all of these bases with drones. This is largely going to be for the larva, for the production capacity of all these extra expansions. And +1 melee Lings, it can do very well here against Blink Stalkers, but with 3 or 4 Oracles accompanying, I wonder if he's being able to find the angle.
So you want to make sure you don't overextend here, which is pretty easy to not do because you've got the Blink available to you. You're going to keep teching up. You're ready for the counterattacks. And see what you can shave off. But you are not, you know, I don't know. Does he actually know about the top right base or not?
I don't think he knows yet.
Okay. That was so good. He should at least detonate 1 to kill some of those probes there. There was actually some that he could have gotten. The Lings are going to come in here for somewhat of a surround. He's going to just try to go over here. Another perfect block. And again, oh my God. Classic's defense is so good.
That was perfect. The Blink, the Stalkers being warped in to block the Banelings was just the perfect move coming in from Classic. And you can see why Rogue didn't detonate everything on the first Stalker to try and get into the mineral line, because the Stalker doesn't take any bonus damage from the Banelings. It took every single Baneling to finally dispatch that Stalker in the natural wall in. And Classic able to parry what was a quite committed counterattack coming in from Rogue with effectively no losses.
Okay, so he's going to take this 4th base. And we're getting into some real powering over here. You are 100% right, State. It's going to be a lot of Lings here. I love this little attack in. Forces a cancel. Can Classic do enough damage to take this base out? Queens are going to come down. Lings are spreading. Now, the combination of the Stalkers and the Oracles, it's very hard for Lings to do a whole lot because you blink away, the Oracles melt everything. We see him thinking of aggressing further because he's going to go ahead and tag these units up here as well.
Yeah, the addition of Archons and Zealots complicates things further here for Rogue. He's going to lose that hatchery. Luckily, he still has the top right base, so Rogue should be doing fine economically back at home. Losing that one hatchery shouldn't be too disruptive, but the issue is that Classic has just been so cost effective up until this point. He's had full 3-base saturation. It feels like he hasn't really lost any critical pieces, maybe 1 or 2 stalkers in total. And he's cleaned up so many links. He's taken out an expansion. He deflected the Baneling attack earlier on. Classic hasn't missed a single beat so far in this game defensively, and he's also been able to disrupt the economy here of Rogue. And so I'm wondering where Rogue is going to try and take the game from here, because Classic's army just keeps getting better, especially now with +1 ground weapons done. He's going to be able to 2-shot these Zerglings with his Zealots. So many more Archons are also joining forces. It looks like it will be a Lurker transition coming in for Rogue. But
Yeah, he could try to hit before the Lurker transition really starts up.
I think it might be a little bit too slow.
Yeah, he's going to go for the non-creeped up side. Probably the right way to attack. There's a lot of Banes over here. And you know, it's all about, you know, how much damage can the Banes do and what can they clear for the next round of supply to come in here and fight. So he's going to fraction off the Zealots because they're useless if there's just many Banes. He's going to have just Archon and then Stalker because, you know, if you can blink away with the Stalkers, you can basically use the Archons to kind of tank this. The Archons are doing a fantastic job. Look at that. Oh my God.
Not a single Archon falling, and at the same time, Classic attacking into the natural expansion and the potential 5th base here for Rogue with some Zealots. Just causing as many disruptions as possible. I can't believe not a single Archon was taken out in that engagement. Rogue was able to buy enough time to get the Hive done as well as the Lurker done, so he should be able to get those critical Hive tech upgrades for the Lurkers up pretty soon, but it's still a very concerning position. Classic, he hasn't been disrupted at all economically on his side of the map. He's been able to secure 4 bases. I'm sure he's going to be taking a 5th base relatively quickly. And his army composition is looking stronger than ever. He still has those 5 Archons. He's adding in a ton of Templar with Storms now, too.
You got to fight here. You going to recall those? Okay. Remember, you don't have a recall later on. He's going to come in this way. And War Prism is going to be chased out. There's enough spores you can't really get in there. Not with the Queens, too. I love the gooping there on the Forge. Slow that down a little bit.
And Classic's continuing to power up. He's very intentionally staying under 200 supply right now because he wants to get a mothership out on the field.
Right.
Fleet Beacon's about halfway done now.
Nidus Worm. And there is an Overlord in the bottom center.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah. I always feel like we should have players check for this every game. Because, like, you know, eventually this is a way that you can just lose, right? I mean, most players are pretty good at stopping it, but especially when you max out, if you can't warp something in, goodbye.
Classic already 195 supply now. I think he wants to trade out a couple of these units. He doesn't have quite enough free to build a mothership, so just going to start at the Tempest instead. Oracle's making sure that the 5th base can get up uncontested here, bottom right side of the map. Classic is keeping Rogue contained. It's hard for Classic to push in.
Dude.
And look at the Nidus. You were exactly right, Saces. I think this is actually out of vision of Classic.
Yeah, it is.
Rogue is causing a disruption right now. He's going into the 3rd base of Classic, trying to distract from the Nidus in the main base, and now the Lurkers are in the main.
Oh my God. Almost 20 probe kills. It's going to be so hard to get in here. Did the recall, does he have that available now? He's going to then just trickle links in through here. The Immortals are coming up.
Oh, you can't
my
go up that
God,
ramp.
You can't, yeah.
You cannot go up that ramp.
No.
The Archon's taking so much damage, and even the Hydralisk getting in here, making things complicated for the Tempest to try and clean this up.
Dude, Rogue is such a strategic genius.
Everything was going Classic's way, and then Rogue with one move.
I take it back. Artie was right. He is the GOAT. I concede.
Classic is going to full send on the Rogue side of the map because he cannot defend the main base anymore.
Yeah.
He's identified the situation. He knows that this is not salvageable.
Thing is, you can kill and hollow out the main and then just like go back through the Nidus and defend.
That's exactly what he's doing. A lot of Lurkers already here. They're going to get in the siege position at the top of this ramp. I think this base certainly is going to fall, but Rogue can mitigate the damage. Keep in mind, Storm now, it lasts a lot longer than it used to. The DPS is lower, but overall the damage output is higher, so 2 Storms can take out one of these Lurkers.
Oh my God, the Hydras are going to come in here and just take the Tempest out as well. Now, I think if you're Rogue, you're okay sacking a base or 2. So Classic's going to go back. Now, the issue is Classic has to remake, like, 15 gateways and the rest of his infrastructure, right? So he's at 145 supply. He can't make more right now. Does he have the gateways anywhere?
I think it's just these two and the two of the natural expansion, but those are empowered, I believe. I'm actually shocked that Classic hasn't started a mothership yet. I feel like that's the one thing that you could really invest these resources well with. You still have the fleet beacon up, just queue it up at one of these Nexus. Seems like Classic will be able to stabilize in the main base. Oh, +1 air weapons, 1 second left, it gets depowered. These lurkers are just such an issue here for Classic. He's gonna go for another engagement here at the central base of Rogue. Storms are really good for Classic.
Yeah.
Not enough lurkers here for Rogue.
I mean, at the end of the day, Classic's army is scary. It is hard to fight, especially in a boxy area like this one.
Rogue with only 5 lurkers on the field right now. His standing army is actually very small. The Storms keep getting so much damage done. I think Classic might be turning this around.
Yeah, that's exactly my thoughts. Like, it seems like, it's like, wait a minute. He's getting in there. He's doing some damage. Apparently, he can warp in 2 Zealots. He's got that going for him.
He's building 2 more gateways.
It's not 0 gateways.
Soon it'll be 4.
Yeah. Soon it'll be able to wake enough to put them all in a warp prism and fly back out if it doesn't work out.
All right, so things are calming down a little bit now. We can take inventory of what we've got. On Rogue's side of the map, he's retaking the base in the top right. He has 4 mining bases right now. The main and the natural, they are mostly mined out. Classic, he is starting the mothership finally at the central location. The base just to the north of his main base has finished up and is now getting saturated. So it's more mining bases for Rogue, but I think Classic, the bases that he has mining are a little bit more fresh. So the mineral income, it's relatively even right now. Worker count's also quite close. A 13 worker advantage here for Rogue. It's odd how things have balanced out in a way. But for Rogue, the problems, they're quite complicated to solve. There's a healthy number of Tempests because that's really been the only production that Classic has had up, is the Stargates for a long period of time. There's 5 Tempests and not really an answer to them. The ground army for Rogue in a head-on engagement is still better than Classic's just because of the lurker count that he's got, but the Tempests are going to be a significant issue.
Yeah, I mean, he can push here, and I don't know that Zerg really has a great answer. I guess he does have the Corruptors, but how many does he have? He's got 9. 9 is, I don't know if it's enough to burst all this down.
It might be, but with the Archons, the Stonkers under the Tempest,
yeah,
you can't dive on top of it,
Corruptor
right?
range is pretty bad, honestly. Like, they have to get, like, right up, get their nose right up to the fight in order to do any damage. So I think, yeah, Classic should just kind of rotate to the center left, poke there, go back up around to the top right, and poke there.
Mothership is done, by the way. It's now roaming its way through the center of the map, trying to meet up with this army.
4 carriers.
Oh, he actually allowed +1 air weapons to finish, too. And he's banking Tempest.
Yeah.
Huh. I think he just doesn't want Rogue to commit more resources to anti-air.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think he knows now.
Oh, that was a recall, I believe. I mean, the Oracles are also there, right? So.
Oh, never mind. You're right.
Yeah, Rogue might still not have the full picture that this is effectively a Skytoss transition.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Classic.
if you've underproduced, the only thing he has to fight there is like a couple of Corruptors, but I think there's the same number of Tempests as there are Corruptors right now. So that's not going to cut it.
Yeah, there's a significant lack of information right now for Rogue, partly because his army is just so immobile. He's even adding Ultralisk, so he's very much focused on dealing with the army on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Ultralisk is absolutely the wrong answer here.
If he's able to smother the army on the ground, he should have enough anti-air to actually deal with the Tempest, but I think it's all going to come down to the engagements. The time warp going to be crucial here for Classic as well. All right, Rogue, he's setting it in. Oh, it's a full surround right now for Rogue. The Lurker's going to try and find the connection. Cloak coming in. We do have Overseers to detect. The Storms are making it very difficult for Rogue to actually collapse on this position. And so Classic buying some much-needed time. Look at how injured all these units are right now for Rogue.
I mean, very bruised right now. It does seem like Rogue is a bit paralyzed. And he's been paralyzed since this, honestly, successful Nidus push here. Like, the comp is kind of here. Now, remember, this is not like a very mobile army. So, like, if he just goes down here and murders this, it's going to be more kills here. Again, the Tempests are going to be very good right now. This is an execution. this is a firing squad here.
Rogue is going to try and find some compensation for this trade by
He has
attacking
no
at the bottom
observer.
right.
He just, that's insane. He only has oracles to tag? Okay.
I guess you have this many oracles.
Yeah,
as long
I guess
as you
it's
keep him
fine.
alive.
In my mind, I see an army that big, I'm like, he's got one observer there for sure.
I think the Robo might have gotten taken out.
Yeah, I think it was never remade either.
Oh, yeah, he does have 3. I wonder what they're observing then, because I don't see any with
I don't
this
see him in the army.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, okay.
It's parked back at home. In any case, Classic does have the detection that he needs, and he's been doing a pretty good job of keeping Rogue under control, and now both armies are maxed, so they're not going to get much better than they are already.
Right.
I still think it's quite even. The problem is that Rogue can't... It's hard for him to actually take the fight that he wants to take, the fight that he needs to take to try and trade closely with Classic's army. Okay, Abduction's coming in. Corruptor should be able to take on both of these Tempests. That was a very good move by Rogue. It's wild that the game has continued on as long as it had after
I know, and
that
it's such a weird game. It's so different feeling from that little rush that happened. Rogue's going to come in here and try to hit. The problem is I think that Zerg doesn't know if he can touch Protoss without his stuff melting.
Yeah, the Storm as zoning tool plus Time Warp really complicates things for Rogue. Especially because Classic has been roaming around the map so much that the creep spread is, you know, the moment where Rogue is able to get some creep spread on the field, it just dissipates.
Yeah, well,
you don't have any mobility.
It's like a lawnmower on the map, just mowing the grass. And, so he takes his base out, but I don't know how consequential that is because Protoss can just grow somewhere else. And Zerg's basically running out of room to be anywhere on the map. What is on the far left?
I think that might be, is that the Corruptors? The speed they're moving makes me think it's all the Corruptors. Yeah, it's all the Corruptors. Classic just he's struggling to get these upgrades to finish. First it was +1 air weapons at 1 second left.
He should get the Tempest to just poke out this base in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's kind of like, he's treating this like he has to get his whole ground army there. You actually have Tempest. You can just chuck a few shots across the map and pop this.
He tried it earlier and he lost 2 Tempests to Abducts. I think he's just a little bit timid about trying it again. Rogue's been doing a pretty good job of keeping this squadron of Corruptors and Vipers here in the center of the map as a zoning tool for those Tempests. Classic has just been struggling to get the final shots, and Classic now with the bottom left base established, his income is really starting to rise again. It was pretty frugal times. There was a lot of austerity on both sides for the last couple of minutes. Both Classic and Rogue had poor saturation on all these expansions as they were forced to leave their richest bases, trade everything out, but Classic has now been able to accumulate a pretty significant gas bank. And if he trades out some of these gateway units, 4 Stonkers, the Zealot, he loses some more workers, he could warp in a ton more Archons with this army.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, he can come up here and just poke this base out again. I think it might be time for him to try a full-on push through the middle. This is not as well entrenched anymore. And he's going to actually go for a recall up into the main, so I think he's trying to bait him up there. Here we go!
There's the recall. Rogue scrambling to get up. Time Warp on the ramp. Ultras don't care about it, but everything else does here for the Zerg.
Yeah. And I don't know how much Ultras are going to do anything in a game like this. There's so many Archons up here. Oh my god, I think if he can pull this off, he's going to win. There are so many Corruptors, though.
Rogue pushing in right now. This is everything that Rogue has got. There's no big behind this. He has to win with this army right now. And it seems like he's able to take out all the Skytoss fleet. The supply is still very even. About as good a trade as Rogue could possibly hope for in the main base.
There were not enough Archons underneath where the Corruptors were.
I mean, that was a fantastic fight for Rogue. The problem is that Classic's bank is so much more significant that Rogue can't recharge. He cannot replenish the army that he made. He's making 3 more Ultras, 3 more Infestors, and after that, there's basically no money left. So he needs to get something done with this army right now. And Classic, he might be sitting on 130 supply. I think he's still mulling over the possibilities of what to remax with because he knows he has 1 more shot. He can recharge the army 1 more time, and that's basically it. Right. He has 1 mining base in the bottom left. Every other base is basically devoid of minerals. And oh, look at this. Your lurkers might be cloaked. My
Remember
DTs are
these
cloaked
units?
too. We need an observer, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
here he goes.
It's hustling. Oh, it's a shame we don't have an overseer right now for Rogue.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's going to clean up absolutely everything. These are losses that Rogue cannot afford. Every
Yeah.
lurker is so valuable right now.
Okay, he sees it. Oh my God, he's gonna try to run. Nope. Oh, I thought he could have maybe gotten the hit off there.
Oh, the observer got taken out.
Oh, never mind.
It's just one lurker right now.
One lurker in a dream.
He's got to snipe the observers again if he wants. Gonna go for the carriers first, but the corruptors are so low on HP. Classic just has a little bit too much money in the bank.
What a
GG
game.
is called.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh.
Kind of a different flavor of game.
What a roller coaster.
But it was interesting because like I thought Rogue wins when he gets the lurkers in the main. I'm like,
I
this
thought the
is so
same thing.
bad. But it's funny because the army's finished being made. It's like you still don't have a solution for that. It's just so hard. And this has been some of the complaints some people have had about, you know, where Protoss is at right now. It's just like people don't know how to engage that as Zerg. It's so hard to get in there and hit that. And what is the play exactly for that? And I think Classic played it to its strength.
Yeah, just using the storms as a zoning tool and the time warp. I think back to the attack in the top right corner of the map where Rogue was maxed, Classic was maxed, and Rogue went for nearly a full surround on Classic. And Classic throws down 4 or 5 storms. The Hydras, they cannot sustain all the way through those storms, so Rogue has to pull back on the top side. Then the time warp on the bottom left side means that Rogue can't push through that either. And Rogue was charged up with one potential fight. Classic with his spellcasting, with his maxed out army and all the tools at its disposal, was able to prevent Rogue from taking the fight that he needed. Now we're going to go to match point. Game number 2. Classic in the bottom right, Rogue in the top left. Classic leading the series 1-0 on Ruby Rock.
Okay, good luck, Rogue. I'm not sure what he's going to show here, but it's going to be whatever the best ZVP he can muster is.
Yeah, the early game was pretty rough there for Rogue. Thinking back to game number 1, everything was going Classic's way. Rogue kept trying to go for these counterattacks, kept trying to get some damage in, and Classic had an answer for absolutely everything. It wasn't until we had a Nidus in a blind spot in the main base of Classic that Rogue actually kind of got onto equal footing with the Protoss.
So, you know, one thing about, and this is not just true for StarCraft, it's true for a lot of RTS games, is sometimes one race really needs to win at a certain moment in the game, and the other race doesn't. And, you know, StarCraft 2, it's been patched so many times, so the matchups really do change constantly. But I'm going to use StarCraft 1 as an example here just because that wasn't patched, and so it's been consistent. 27 years of roughly games that look like this. But as an example, in a TVZ in StarCraft 1, the Terran tends to win in the middle of the game. Same thing with a TVP, because Terran has to push. In a ZVP, sorry, PVZ I should say, Protoss wins in the mid game because the Protoss has to push, which means Zerg tend to win either before or after that, right? They win in the late game a lot of times. And I think people are used to seeing Zerg win in the late game in StarCraft 2. But I think what's happened in the matchup now, and again, you know, patches come out, things change, and races become stronger or weaker at various points in the game, is I think Protoss might be in some ways kind of like the Zergy race in the late game, in that they are going to get an army that you might not be able to kill, right? And so that means the matchup for now may be one that Zerg really has to figure out how to kill Protoss before they get too big, which can be uncomfortable for, I think, a lot of Zerg players that are used to the matchup feeling a certain way or being a certain way. What do you think, State?
I agree with you. I think the important thing, if you want to try and play a late game as Zerg, is that you get to your late game composition before the Protoss is able to. And that means that you need to have a better early game or a mid game than the Protoss more often than not. It means you need to be able to outgreed them. You need to be able to deal with all the oracles. There are a lot of things that need to happen for Zerg to be in a position where it feels like their army is scaling better than the Protoss army is.
Right.
And even Rogue, I mean, the early game wasn't fantastic for Rogue there in the previous match, but you could see it with the Lurker push into the main base. The Tempest kind of put a timer on that, and it was a long timer because there were only a couple of them on the field. Rogue was able to take out the natural expansion, most of the probes there. He was able to take out nearly all of the infrastructure in the main base as well. But Classic had already navigated his way to an army composition that was just such a pain to deal with for Rogue And whenever Protoss gets in that kind of position where they're able to train out all of the low-cost, low-value units such as Zealots, such as Stalkers, for basically pure Skytoss, Archon, Templar, and a Mothership, it is a near impossible situation for Zerg to overcome that unless they get the fight of their dreams. And I think even if they go for the fight of their dreams, it almost feels like Protoss needs to have a misstep. So for Zerg to succeed, it seems like they need to get an advantage before that point.
Yeah.
But it's very tricky. It's exactly what you said. It seems like the late game right now for Protoss, it's a little too troubling for Zerg to deal with.
And it also seems like, I mean, like what Rogue did in the last game, I thought was really smart. I mean, he basically pulled his strategy off, right? He had the Ninja Nidus pop up, right? You know, he did it right when the Protoss was maxed out. So there wasn't, you know, really a moment to warp in Zealots to get it. Even then, the Nidus was well hidden enough. Wasn't a whole lot that, you know, Rogue could do to stop, or sorry, Classic could do to stop it. And, you know, Classic had his whole main hollowed out. Okay, so we got a Ling attack over here, and with no Oracle to defend this, this is going to be forced to cancel.
Yeah, surprised that Classic didn't leave at least one Oracle back right now. He's going to warp in some Adepts, but eventually this will be canceled.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why there weren't Adepts there to begin with.
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, that's
Rogue
why,
just
of
was
course.
able to skirt around the edges of the map, I suppose. Classic didn't catch it. Rogue trying to go back in and get another cancel. And the Oracles are pretty low on energy right now. See, Classic just charges one up. It's about to run out of energy. It just did. Some nice moves coming out by Rogue, and he follows it up with 10 more drones in production. These are the kind of early game wins that Rogue needs, that Zerg needs to build up some momentum heading into the mid and the late game. I mean, already Classic's build, it's got a wrench thrown in the works. Things have not gone to plan.
Okay, so he's going to try to clear out this Overlord. Rogue's continuing to grow out. We've got Blink halfway done. More Oracles. This looks like it's probably going to be the Stalker Blink stuff we saw in the last game. I think with Classic, you don't need to do anything different or special here. I don't know why you would. I mean, basically, the mid-late game, I guess, backfired horribly for Classic, and he's still... Was there something that popped up on screen over Classic's face for a second? Did you see that?
Oh, I was looking at the Oracles.
I don't know what happened. It almost looked like he had
like a filter or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It was like cat ears were on his head. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was some Discord thing. I don't know. Anyways,
I gotta go back and watch the VOD after
I don't know. Maybe I'm hallucinating, and you guys are watching the first thing that went wrong in my brain before I went insane and ended up in a mental asylum just a year later. It started here. So, Masslings. And, you know, Protoss is moving out. Nice blink over here to actually shave off a couple more of these Lings. There is charge coming up behind this, by the way.
Got some nice moves coming out by Classic.
So
Rogue,
this might be a very different game.
Rogue trying to go into Hydralix behind all of this. Hydralix done, nearly done. 10 more Lings in production. We might have a critical mass of Stalkers, though. This is a difficult position. Oh, look at the choke point right now. It's like a force field that doesn't expire. All those Lings just choking up the position, making it so hard for Rogue to get a surround on the Stalkers.
Right now, Rogue's just trying to trigger each of these stuns so that he can actually come in there and assert himself.
Oh, and another stun comes in on every single Stalk, or on every single Ling, excuse me. And I love the move there by Classic. He drops a Stasis Ward and then he blinks on top of it, knowing that if Rogue goes for the surround on this, the Stasis Ward puts a timer on it. You have to disengage with the Lings, otherwise every single one will be trapped in Stasis. And Classic has been able to use this ability to trade quite effectively, but finally for Rogue, most of the Lings, they are out of stasis. I think he's had enough time with his production cycles to get the Hydralisks on the board, and so Classic, I believe, would be wise to pull back for now, but it looks like he might be gearing up for another attack with all these Charge Zealots joining in. No +1 ground weapons, so they are going to 3-shot the Lings instead of 2-shot.
Yeah, interesting. He's going to come in now. It is a lot of Hydras, so the Zealots are going to be pretty handy here. The counterattack is looking pretty good. Let's see what he can do with this warping of Zealots. Again, no +1.
Shield Battery is going to help this a lot for Classic, especially fighting in such a narrow point. Zerglings really struggle to get a surround on all those Zealots. Unusual to see a charge transition take this shape. Usually you would see the first waves of Zealots try and snipe a base like in the bottom left, but it seemed like Classic was trying to set up for one big push with a bunch of unupgraded charge zealots, unupgraded with no +1 ground weapons, I mean, and just overwhelm the Hydras.
Yeah, well, if you have nothing but Hydras, I think the charge lots are pretty good with the Stalkers,
Oh,
right?
for sure. I mean,
mean
you blink on top of them, too. The Zealots
Yeah.
are just naturally going to be in the front. So synergy you don't see very often in PvZ, but unfortunately that window is passed, so Classic instead is going to be trying to distract Rogue to the best of his ability here by pressuring through triangle expansion while hitting the bottom left with all of these Zealots, and that hatchery
I like
is
this.
definitely going down.
Yeah, and he's got Psystorm ready over here. It's going to be very hard to fight this. Hydras are going to come from all these different angles, but gosh, there is so much. Does he have, oh, he does have a Warp Prism right over here, but he's not pulling it back.
Maybe one more Storm. I think the last Storm gets utilized right now for Classic, and Rogue's been able to surround this army. Stasis will trap 4 Hydras, but
Warp Prism's just like still here, by the way.
that was a nice move by Rogue. He was able to win that fight, but these Zealots are still unanswered here on the 9 o'clock base.
So, you know, it's still 4 base to 4 base. What a weird game. What an odd game from Classic specifically.
Yeah, the Zealot transition kind of...
I feel like Rogue's gonna have a much smoother game from here.
Well, yeah, there's no Forge upgrades for Classic still. He has gone into Storm, so it makes sense. You don't need the Forge upgrades quite as much when you have Storm as DPS. So you will add in the Forge now, just a little bit later. And I think for Classic, you should just try and hold on to the 4 bases that you've got and go for a Sky Toss transition right now, because his army is not very impressive. He does have a lot of Zealots, but again, without +1 ground weapons, they're mostly going to find their utility and their value in counterattacks, not these head-on engagements versus Lurkers and Hydras.
Tempests in pairs are going to come. And, you know, Rogue, I mean, he's going to max out. It's probably going to be his turn to try to do something. We were talking about, you know, maybe the play is to have some kind of style where you can prevent Protoss from getting too big to fail, or an army that's too big to confront.
Yeah, it's important for Zerg to hit their late game power spike before the Protoss does, I think. And Rogue, it seems like he might be on a trajectory to do this. Classic's army is not very well refined. He's got some Storm, he's got 2 Tempests on the field, but still no Mothership. Still only 4 bases. It's really just a lot of low-tech gateway units. It's the Zealots and Stalkers that are forming the brunt of Classic's force.
Okay, we got big movement down here at the bottom towards 6 o'clock. Rogue also expanding to the left side of this, as well as taking 12 o'clock.
Classic's in the center of the map. If Rogue attacks a triangle expansion right now, could put Classic in a very precarious position.
At least force a recall. I mean, there's really not a lot to defend over here. We saw 1 Templar. He's going to move back. He actually clicked his army back in a way where they're going to have to go in 2 different directions. The Lings are going to come in here. I don't think the Protoss can save this. Oh, nice move here with the Zealots hitting this bottom left base.
Classic's going to go for the counterattack, and I think it's a smart move by him, not to try and engage on those Lurkers instead. Just pull everything back, let the Tempest slowly chip away at them.
Can he actually kill his hatchery in time? I think he can. Nicely done.
Hatch gets taken down. 2 more Tempest in production. Mothership nearly done for Classic, and he can resaturate this 4th base. Seems like as far as Classic is concerned, 4 bases is all he needs right now, just to get up to at least enough Sky Toss that he's safe versus any sort of high-tech Lurker play.
Okay. Classic is still turtled up, and he's done producing. Right? He's got 6 Tempest. I think there's 2 more coming, so he has to move out. Here he goes now. And Zerg can start to counterattack. I think what you got to do with Zerg is just keep counterattacking. Almost never fight this army. Keep hitting them. Do a Nidus again, but also have all the counterattacks everywhere.
You say it like that, it sounds easy.
Yeah. You see, I got to figure it out.
Just be everywhere.
Be everywhere all at once.
Classic, he's itching for a fight. He wants to trade out all these Zealots and Stalkers right now. That is so much supply that has caught up in these units, which aren't going to scale very well into the late game. So Classic, he's going to do his best to trade out these Zealots and Stalkers as cost efficiently as possible. Rogue coming in from the top side. Storms heavy on the Lurkers and the Hydras. A follow-up one is going to force those Lurkers to get out of the way.
Here we go. Following Taste's advice, being everywhere at once.
Rogue should be able to take down at least 1 expansion, but the army back at home is a little bit lackluster for Rogue, and a lot of Overlords have fallen Tasteless. He doesn't have the minerals. Rogue does not have the minerals to remax. He has to spend them on 8 Overlords right now.
Oh my God, you're right. I wasn't even noticing how many Overlords are killed there. I think you could make, okay,
Oh.
never mind. I don't even get to say it. I was gonna say you could make just a move straight down from here, slice off that part of the map. Discord call closed.
Wow. Classic. With a pretty convincing 2-0 win there over Rogue. He's going to meet Maru in the final series of the day. And for me, my heart breaks a little bit for Rogue. I feel like Rogue played very well today. It was a tough series versus Maru. It was a tough series versus Classic.
But Classic played weller.
Yeah, he did.
He did play a lot weller. And that's what they say. The guy who played weller wins.
You're amazing, Tasteless.
No, I'm not. I am a cheap hack. All right, guys, we got a break. Coming up next, the final match of the night, Classic versus Maru.
I know that you're longing for a little change, a bit of something different in a different place, somewhere the grass is greener. Call it a spiritual healer. I hear you, darling, I feel ya. Come on, let's go fly away. never feel lost, even in the unknown. 'Cause when I'm with you, yeah, it feels like home. Feels like home. Me and you, there's nothing we can do together. Come on, let's go fly away. Find a beautiful escape with the wind on our backs. We'll be going so fast. There's no need to be afraid. Come on, let's go fly away now. Come on, let's go fly away.
GSL Season 1.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is it. This is the final match of the night. Classic versus Maru. You could not ask for a more exciting battle for the right to enter the round of 4 here. Kira's already the first survivor of the entirety of the round of 8. He'll be awaiting one of the 3 players that are going to be there. We're going to know all of those players once we're done with tomorrow night's broadcast. But I mean, it's kind of crazy. First of all, Maru could be knocked out here. That's
Yeah.
wild. I mean, Maru's someone who's like in so many finals, I've lost count, and I've casted most of them. But Classic has been playing so well, and Classic looked god tier in that last game. And the thing is, Cure does not play like Maru. Cure had a very unusual set of wins to beat Classic here, to be honest. So I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, stylistically, I feel like Classic is going to be much better poised to take down Maru than he is to take down Cure. But it does depend on the way that Maru is going to play this series. I feel like as far as Classic is concerned, likely what we're going to be seeing from him is kind of standard play. I'm not really expecting too much in terms of variation from Classic. He is just the macro toss. And so my eyes are going to be on Maru. Is he going to be going for some kind of early pressure build? It almost feels like some of the series that he plays, his approach to the matchup can swing wildly different. He might try and play a Supreme late game style versus you, or he'll go the exact opposite, try to end the game as quickly as possible, whether it be with a one base play or some sort of two base SCV pull. What kind of Maru are we going to get? That's my big question, because one of these players is going to be eliminated and one of them will advance to the round of 4. Game 1 is loading in on Winter Madness. Classic and Maru for the last spot in Group A.
Okay. Maru, Classic in this game. First of all, I'm thinking a lot about the fact that, Protoss just seems hard to kill if they get too big. And that seems to be specifically with Classic. He's just going to grow. And not grow the way that he grew versus Rogue, right? The Rogue one, it's more about he gets a certain army composition, a certain tech, a certain set of units that have this symbiosis where it's hard to even know how to touch them without everything that Zerg has melting. The PvT approach seems to be to get to a certain size, have enough splash damage, and then to almost Zerg out on the map. I mean, we're talking Nexuses and Pylons everywhere, drinking up every single resource on the map, and then just constant counterattacks.
Yeah, that is the current meta in PvT, and Classic is one of the best players at executing that style. And there are two main ways of approaching your game plan as Terran if you want to be able to take down Protoss players who are playing that way. And it hits with the two big power spikes for Terran. Either the power spike in the early game where you go for an SCV pull or some sort of one base all-in, or you go for a power spike in about as late game as you possibly can. When you have a maxed army, when you've got 2-2 or 3-3 upgrades, when you have Ghost added in the mix, and you're able to have a substantially more refined army than the Protoss, because Protoss, when they play this style of rapid expansion, of taking an entire side of the map, they're doing it with a trade-off of not having very many forms of splash damage, of not having a very refined army in terms of tech or in terms of upgrades. If they do, they have to choose one or the other. Are you going to get something like Psystorm on 4 gases, or are you going to go for 2 Forge and Mass Gateway units? It's almost always Forges and Gateway units.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why you have games that just look completely bizarre. If you come from StarCraft from a couple of years ago to see the way that Cure and Classic played out here on Winter Madness, where Classic was on, I want to say 10 bases? It was pretty close to 10 bases if it wasn't 10 already. And Cure on his side of the map, sitting on 3 or 4, maxes out. He wins one big fight, he pushes across the map, and Classic is dead because Cure's army simply is too much better. So for Maru, which road is he going to choose? Is he going to go for that sort of early game pressure and try and execute a build which can take Classic out of the game very early? Or is he, like Cure in game number 2, just going to try and cross his T's and dot his I's and play for a late game with a maxed army?
Yeah, it's funny. Cure kind of did to Classic what Classic did to Rogue, when you think about it, right? He just had so strong, had such a strong death ball that he kind of just melted through everything. And even when the counterattacks came in, he's like, yeah, I'm going to lose everything, but I already made my army. I already made my army. And now you have to deal with it. You have to confront it head on because it's going literally not to every one of your bases. It's going to your infrastructure at home. And when I kill this, you cannot come back from it.
Classic probing now with the Adept, trying to find some scouting information. Or would love to clean this Adept up. I think, is it enough DPS to take out this Adept? But we'll see. Oh, I was way off. You see that?
Yeah.
That's like 1 or 2 seconds. Adept gets cleaned up. Maru, he's going into Cloak Banshees back at home. Adding in the second barracks as well, and Classic, it seems like, unlike the way that he played versus Cure, where he went for a 4-gate link play this time, more conservative, 2 more gates being added as well as the Robo. Likely going to be a much faster third base from him in this match.
Okay, so we've got Banshee with Cloak here, which I don't know why. I didn't think that was what we were going to see from Maru this time around. Are we going to have the 4 gates?
Just 3 right now for Classic.
Okay, because 3 is, we actually don't get to cast a lot of 3-gate games as much anymore. But, you might come in here and look at this and think, oh, it's going to be that pressure. But do you ever want to pressure with 3-gate? Or do you want to just expand again? Like, why? Because normally it's either 2-gate or 4-gate, right?
Yeah, 3's kind of a nice middle ground. It is a little bit. It is a little bit less greedy, but
it's kind of the Goldilocks build here. Not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah, so Classic's gonna go the Goldilocks way. Even if you play with 3 gateways, sometimes you go against some openings with reactor at factories, you might still be able to get some pretty substantial damage done.
Sure.
Just because the siege tank buildup is a little bit too low. That is not what we're seeing here in game number 1. As Maru's be coming now into the natural expansion.
Is that pylon misplaced?
Oh, it looks right to me.
Oh, I saw a probe mine from the other side. I thought maybe there's something weird going on.
No, maybe just rallied it down for the main base.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Okay, so 4 kills already on the probes.
And the Observer. Okay.
The Observer, this is what happens when you send it across the map. The Banshee's set up to come in here at the perfect time and basically punish. Ooh, this shot's
so much damage.
This is so bad right now.
I mean, even if the Banshee falls, this was so worth it for Maru. I mean, that is huge. 9 probes this early on. Maru has a worker advantage as Classic is taking his third base. This is exactly what you want as Terran. And I would love it if Maru just pulled the trigger right now, did not go for a third command center, and in a minute or 2, just full set. Pull SCVs from the natural mineral line and just try and get some damage done, because this is going to slow down Classic's mid-game so much.
So, charge coming. A lot of the wings have basically been clipped here for Classic for what he wanted to do. He might still try. I mean, it's not like he lost any Stalkers because of that Banshee, but he's not going to be able to warp in the same number of Zealots and have pressure on like that. So this is a tough game here.
Yeah, and you can see the Classic has kind of pivoted his game style into absorbing the blow that's going to be coming, because I think he is expecting the same way that we were talking about, that it's likely going to be a 2-base push after all the early damage done. Now, Maru is building a third command center, so that's not the build that we're going to be seeing out of Maru.
Well, he might still attack with it. I think this is one of these games where you basically land this. It's like an insurance policy. You're like, okay, well, I will have a big enough army as I land this and attack out. And if, I don't end the game there, I still have stuff. This is the opposite of this would be to, take all of your workers and send them and attack across the map like that. Instead, he's like, no, I'm going to expand as late as I can, but still have a push.
And Classic, meanwhile, is just all focused on stopping a potential push from knocking him out of the game. He is taking up into Colossus because eventually you do need to have some splash damage versus a Terran player like this one. Stalkers go into the main base right now. They can dodge the Marauder shots and the Widowmine shots with a Warp Prism if microed well. Maru already halfway across the map. There are a ton of gateways done for Classic. I think it might be 8 gateways even already, with 2 more in production. Charge is researched too. Stalker's trying to intercept the reinforcements. Engagement happening.
Okay, he's going to attack out. Oh! He's going to get the... Oh my god, no Colossus. Oh, this is huge. This is one of the things. You put the Robo out there. You have this big exposed weak point. These Zealots are going to come in. The tanks actually end up soaking up for the Marines.
The Widowmine just destroyed those Zealots.
It was insane. I don't know that this army can be stopped now. Banshees are actually coming in here with the mix. Is there even an Observer with this?
I'm not sure if we've got one. We'll see. Maru now stutter stepping backwards. The Bio's very low on HP, so some damage is getting done. The Observer does come back, but it gets sniped.
I think that's it. GG. Wow, GG. Oh, Maru.
Maru didn't even need to pull the boys.
It's a me, a Maru. That was sick.
I mean, it all comes back to the first Cloak Banshee. You get that many that many probes that early, and you are the Protoss. As you said, the wings are clipped. And there is just no drive behind the economy anymore.
Okay, so Now we're going to go into game 2. You know, that Banshee opener can be really good. You basically just make like a zigzag around the observer path. Observers are so slow.
Yeah, they're very slow.
Once you actually have something cloaked in your base killing stuff, you're like, oh, this is actually maybe the worst unit in the game.
Yeah,
how slow it is.
I'm way worse than everybody else that plays in the GSL by like a long shot. So I can justify getting observer speed in most of my games right after Thermal Lance.
Yeah.
I hate how slow they are. It drives me insane.
I do this sometimes because I've been laddering Brood War a bunch. I'm like, I get observer speed way earlier than I should. I'm like, look, I know this is what I'm supposed to do, but I'm so bad that like I am probably gonna win more games just having this. Anyways, excuse me. Game 2. Like, State, you say you're way worse. I want you guys to know I am actually better than all the players in GSL, but I'm also better at casting, so I had to pick one. So here I am.
Chase has been in every GSL finals. That's
right.
Trick.
That's right.
Maru's only been in like half of them.
We're going to go to the ultimate GSL finals where I both play in it and cast myself winning, and I'm just on a stage there, be like, this is the part of my army kills all stuff. I'm so sick, JJ.
It's like a boxing match. The game isn't decided by who wins. The game is decided by a bunch of referees. They have to rate Maru's casting as well as his gameplay. They're like, Chase is going to win. The casting was too good. It doesn't matter if he got 3-0'd.
It's just me and another caster battling it out for who casted the game better.
Oh.
The players are just there to facilitate the match. All right, so we got a Max Pax gate, but there's a hidden rack. Okay, so
we have a Max Pax Barracks versus a Max Pax gate.
Maka Rax
versus
Max Pax gate.
So the players whose names start with M's are just proxy things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 2-gate. Oh, I love this. I can't remember if it's Trigger or Max Pax where I last saw do this build, but it is so much fun. We're going to have Zealots and Stalkers stream across the map. This feels, obviously it's not a 4-gate. This feels like a Wings of Liberty 4-gate.
I know.
It is so much fun.
It feels so Wings of Liberty.
And it is awesome of Classic to bring this game out in game number 2. Down 1-0.
Yeah. Big
Oftentimes you'll
here.
see somebody do this when they are leading this series like Maru is. That's, I think, one of the reasons why Maru is going for this ambitious proxy where he's hiding the barracks in the factory in the third base location. But now that is going to come back to bite him. It's like Classic called his bluff.
It's an interesting situation because this is what we basically saw Cure set up.
The barracks is lifting.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I thought he was going to, get a 1-1-1 set up over there.
Oh, this feels like a disaster right now for Maru. The barracks isn't even here in the main base. He's trying all this subterfuge to trick Classic, but he just made 1 Reaper. There's no more production happening right now for Maru, except for the factory that's going to be done in just a moment. So I think Maru might just die to this. We have the starport started before even a factory unit. There's still only the Reaper right now for Maru.
I think this is going to be over so fast. There's nothing in the main.
Do we have a full wall? And I'm looking at the minimap right now. I think maybe the add-on from the barracks might have just closed up the wall. Yeah, it did. Oh, I don't think that's going to be up. I don't think the SCVs can even repair this. Maru goes into the main base of Classic, sees absolutely nothing, and now he sees 2 Zealots and a Stalker. Look at Maru shake his head and
he's
laugh.
Smiling. He goes,
oh,
okay.
He knows. He lost the game of rock, paper, scissors this time.
Yeah. The game of rock, paper, scissors. Rock always wins. I mean, this is done. It's going to be a supply block now. You can't even make anything out of the factory.
There's a Marine and a Reaper.
Yeah.
Okay, the SCVs, they're drilling. They're going to try and form the citizens' arrest of all citizens' arrests. But I don't know if this is going to work, Tasteless. That's a lot of workers going down.
Yeah.
He is able to take down the Zealots. If he gets a surround on the Stalkers, he might be able to clean this up.
Oh my God, the Stalkers are so slippery though right now.
And already it's so many workers falling. Even more units are being produced out of those gateways as well.
Oh my God, there's going to be more coming in here. He's going to go for the mine! The mine!
Widowmine procced on something. Might have actually taken down a Stalker already. Maru with no income right now, 28 minerals. He is going to get this around on the Stalkers.
No!
Maru's got a dream. There is a Cyclone in production too. But Widowmine takes down another Stalker. Maru, are you going to stabilize? I mean, he's in such a bad position, but
hold up.
He's got a Cyclone and a Medevac Tasteless that can dodge every single Stalker shot if he decides to micro
Cyclone
it.
and Medevac in a dream state.
He's still got 18 workers.
Warp gate not done.
It would take some of the fanciest micro in the world to make this work. Maru's going to play it safe. He's going to repair the Cyclone.
He's sending another probe out here to make a pylon. He's like, oh, this could get weird. Let's at least make sure I don't lose power over here. That could be bad. Is it 2 more gates in the main? No, gate robo in the main, excuse me.
Gate robo. So Classic is doubling down. He's going to play a 1-base game no matter what.
Yeah, all right. So...
I can't believe Maru's still alive.
I mean, this is crazy.
Maru had a Reaper and then lifted the barracks across like a quarter of the map back into the main base and still survive Proxy 2 gateways.
Oh!
All right, 4 Stalkers going to come up into the main base right now. There is, I think, 1 Marine in the bunker. The Widow Mine does complicate things a lot until the Warp Prism is out on the field. Because Classic with just Stalkers, he would have to trade a Stalker to be able to push up that ramp.
Okay, so worker count is 24 to 23. Terran, I mean, yeah, mules are a thing, but you are on 1 base, right? So pretty even. Classic going for his 2nd base. Okay, so what?
Is it possible for this game to normalize?
Well, I mean, first of all, you don't have Blink yet, right? So he's going to get the Twilight Council, but Stalkers without Blink are very different than Stalkers with Blink, right? I mean, he's going to basically have a 2 racks factory starport push. He's going to basically do... Okay, he's gonna get a Raven here too. I don't know, man.
There's a CC.
You know, we never really get to cast this, so it's so hard to kind of visualize what's going to go on. He's going to send these up here. Now, remember, the Cyclone could just like go for these this Warp Prism if he can find it. Same thing with the Viking. Oh, Micro Machines.
Yeah, Siege Tank is out now. Nothing lost yet for Maru, besides those 2 SCVs.
I mean, you take some damage, but that'll heal.
We have both players expanding. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody hold a Proxy 2 gateway the way that Maru did.
Well, that was so
bizarre.
crazy. I mean, honestly, when I saw the SCVs pulled, I was like, all right, let's wrap it up, right? Okay, he's going to take out the Observer. Now, that's important because, you know, there's no Oracles at play. You can't tag Widow Mines, right?
Yeah.
Does he pick up Widow Mines and go out? Or does he just give away the medevac? How about that instead?
I think he wanted to get some scouting information, but instead, medevac gets traded out for free. Expensive loss here for Maru, who is still on 1 base. The 2nd command center just now completing, but Classic is already mining out of the natural expansion. The worker count, it was dead even a couple of minutes ago, but Classic has been able to pull ahead substantially now.
Yeah, so a scan comes down here. And, I mean, Protoss is just going to keep growing. Gosh, if that medevac hadn't been killed, there might have been something. You know, maybe he wants to pull SCVs and push.
Maybe.
He's finding long distance. I guess it makes sense. You have more SCVs than you have patches you can use. I thought for a second he was going to, like, send everything out here.
I feel like he just has to try and defend and make the game as long as possible, but it's... Classic is just he's not 1 tempo ahead. It feels like he's 2 tempos ahead of Maru.
Yeah. No,
given the way this has gone. That
leaps and bounds ahead here. Now, I don't know. Does he want to attack in here? This might be a mistake.
Charge is done.
Oh, fake Archon here, too. I love this. Just to soak up some damage. You're going to have to target with the Marines as well as the tanks.
Siege tanks start firing down. And the Stalkers, it seems like there are just enough Marines. Maybe not with those Zealots warping into reinforce.
Yeah, well, the Immortals can do so much damage here. This is going to be a forced lift. I don't know that Maru's necessarily going to leave, but it's looking pretty bad.
I mean, it's astounding that he is still in the game, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is a fighter.
Classic with another warp in. He's now establishing a 3rd base. Templar Archives also being warped in back at home. It's a bit dangerous pushing up the ramp still, even with the lead that Classic has got. So for now, he's going to chip away the natural ramp.
Tank's going to make it harder to really assert yourself over there at the ramp. I forgot, actually, that there were still gateways in the middle of the map. I looked down, I'm like, what is that? Oh, that's right. I forgot how this game started.
Only Maru can make a game that started like this last 10 minutes. I mean, this guy is a survivor. It is so hard to knock him out of every single match. He is making Classic work for this one, and I know Classic, I mean, we all know that Classic is likely 99.9% chance going to win this game. But this isn't one of the wins that you finish and you feel good about. It's one of the wins that you win. It's like, well, that was embarrassing. I should have finished that way faster. I had 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers versus SCVs in his main base. How did this go on? 10, 11 minutes. And Maru's still getting some punches in. Another drop coming in right now. He's making the game as weird as possible for Classic.
I mean, this is so funny. He's getting his jabs in.
He's still on one base effectively. If you look at the minimap right now, you can tell the main base of Maru is mostly mined out. The main bases start mining out at 8 minutes, and Maru's been dropping mules and been so oversaturated in that main base, so he's got maybe 2 or 3 mineral patches in total right now in the main.
I know it's coming now. I saw the TVTs from earlier, so I know this is going to throw auto turrets down here. Yeah, there's no way this is going to work.
What it's good at doing, though, is buying time. You know, if Classic was still pressuring the front door of Maru, I'm not sure he would be able to establish the natural expansion, but finally, Maru could actually get some mineral income again. And the game is going to continue on. Classic is building a forge. We're likely going to have a 4th base come up here for Protoss in just a minute. I feel like I'm in a bizarro world right now. I cannot believe this game
this is
still...
such a weird game right now. The thing is, this can't go on for longer. Like, I mean, there's a point where Protoss should be able to actually just trample this position. There's going to be a drop coming in here now. Storm's beautifully done. I mean, everything eating damage. One more storm and that's gone.
Maru's got to get out of there. Instead, the Marine's going to get cleaned up.
GG.
That's it. GG's
Woo!
called.
What an ending to that game. Oh, man.
I mean, Maru could have lasted 2 or 3 more minutes at least.
Yeah.
But you could see the writing on the wall. That was such a bizarre game. I've never seen anything quite like that, and I know casters throw that around willy-nilly, but I truly have never seen anything quite like that.
That was such a unique situation with the builds that were chosen, and then the fact that he decided to lift the racks and send it back. I'm like, oh God, you don't have anything even making stuff on the ground.
Again, the first 2 production buildings for Maru, the barracks and the factory, were built at the 3rd base location of Maru. He made 1 Reaper because the whole thing is just a subterfuge. He's just trying to trick Classic into thinking this build is like a proxy 1-1-1 or some other opening. And then he has to fly the barracks back into his main base. That's another minute and a half maybe, and the barracks isn't producing. The first unit out of the factory is a Widow Mine. 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers cleaned up by SCVs, and Maru somehow survives 11 minutes. But Classic in the end, the advantage was too strong. He's going to take game number 2, and now we are going to the final match of Group A. Map number 3, all tied up. The winner of this map is going on into the round of 4 in the offline finals of the GSL. The loser is out of Code S.
Okay, Probe moving out here. Probably to just go ahead and scout for missing racks. I think this is probably the best way to play against Maru, by the way. I think, honestly, all the Protossers should be doing this right now.
I think Hero is one of the first Protoss players to do this basically every single game versus everybody.
Yeah, well, you know, there appears to be this new trend of like a full 1-1-1 outside of your base. And clearly it's good because we've seen Kir do it twice this week.
Plus, you know, one of the main reasons why people don't scout too early in StarCraft 2 or in any game where your workers are your scouts is because there's a significant opportunity cost of having that probe not mine this entire time. By now, it could have mined about a 50 minerals or so. It's already been a minute. But one of the good things is Protoss, especially in PvT, is that you could trade your shields for some damage on the SCVs, and you could also force a lot of idle time on the SCVs as well. So there is some parity there. You know, Classic is losing mining time, but so is Maru. So why not go for the early scout?
So, yeah, let's see what exactly we're going to get here. I mean, we can't replicate what we had in the last game. But Maru, I mean, God, you look at that last game that we had, and it's just such a... It's so symbolic of why he wins. Like, he was losing that game so badly, and still, like, Classic was basically having to sweat to close that out.
It was a crazy game.
It's a crazy feeling, too, when you're beating somebody, and they're, like, putting up such a fight. You're like, oh, my God, who is this guy?
Why won't you die?
Why won't you die? So I'm interested in this next game. Remember the Classic went for like 3-gate earlier.
3-gate Blink Robo into a 3rd base.
Although I guess when I think back on that game, really it was the Banshee doing the V-Scout that killed the probes, it kind of led to everything else falling apart. So I guess we never really got to see where that build would have taken Classic, because Classic got kneecapped early on.
I think typically when you play that opening as Protoss, you're not fully utilizing the 3 gateways the same that you would with 2. You can afford to have some idle time because you have the capacity to produce more whenever you need them.
Right.
Right? And so if there's an opportunity to get some harassment in with Blink Stalkers, you might go for it, but in most situations, I think it will play basically the same way as 2-gate, just with a little bit more safety. It's just a little bit slower. I wonder if Classic's going to throw it back to the 3-gate robo build again here with the Twilight Council finishing up in just a minute. It is one of the more standard ways to approach this matchup. You know, it's the kind of build that you do if you're very confident in your late game abilities.
Right.
If you know that the longer the game goes on, you're going to be getting more and more advantage. That's the kind of opening you would go for.
So we've got Blink once more. Now we got to count the gates. So we have a second one starting over here. And is it going to be 2? Is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4?
Def getting some scouting information in here in the main base. Almost took down that Hellion. It will get cleaned up, though. The Robo is built here by Classic, and the 3rd gateway as well.
Okay, so 3-gate again with Robo.
Yeah, just opting for safety here. You know, Maru is such a wild card.
Sense. Well, Maru looks like he's going to be coming in here with some kind of a push, some way to try to grapple with the Protoss and try to fight them. And so, you know, maybe 2-gate play is just deemed in Classic, so you like a little bit too loose. Like if all you got to do, especially if you're Classic and all you're doing is like defending and getting splash damage and then taking the whole map, like yeah, you can slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see where he's going to go with this. Maru adding in 2 more barracks, just fleshing out the production back at home. Could potentially throw down either additional barracks, go for something very aggressive, or go for a 3rd command center. It seems like so far he has been opting for the command center play today in TVP.
Okay, so the 3rd base is not denied. He's going to get the Nexus put up here. Maru, I guess he just wants to go ahead and just use some of this energy to throw a turret down. Now the Stalkers are running down into the main, so he needs to get in and then get right back out. If you get too ambitious with this, you're going to lose it. Oh my god!
It's all right, Sageless. Stalkers never kill Ravens.
Yeah.
It's one of the most unintuitive things for me is Ravens. They look and feel so flimsy, but when you actually see Stalkers try and take them down, it's like it's just how many shots?
Yeah. How strong is this?
It takes 34 shots to kill a Raven. What are you talking about? And so Maru's gonna continue to power up on his 2 bases. I don't see any 3rd command center yet in the production tab, but
yeah, no, I don't think he started one. So
yeah.
he's going to do that little insurance command center and then push out. Now, obviously we didn't have an early Banshee. We didn't have any probe kills at all, even with the Raven. Uh-oh. Blink.
See, even this Stalker's not going to get it.
He could have gotten that. That bothers me so much. That's, oh my god.
Tace is going to go home, resume from replay, and snipe down that Raven. A Raven barely surviving. Still no 3rd CC, and notably...
Is he being sneaky?
Yeah, Maru. He's trying to hide the bio right now. This might be an SCV pull. And Classic, he's bracing for impact on his side of the map. Last I checked the production tab, he was going up to, I think, 8 gateways in total. So I would be surprised if he threw down a 4th Nexus. I think he's just going to sit on 3 bases until he has confirmation that Maru's going for something macro-focused, but that is not what we are seeing. But I'm leaning over, watching the mineral line of Maru right now, expecting to see the SCVs get pulled. There they are. Here come the boys, Tasteless.
He's going to send him out.
Oh, they're going to repair the Raven.
Oh!
Back from the grave.
The Raven lives.
So they sub Maru's sleeve.
Okay, that Raven is going to cast a spell that's going to win the game. Oh my god. That Raven's going to disable the Colossus. And if I had been in control of that Stalker, I would have killed the Raven, and I would be going on into the round of 4.
All right, we're pushing up right now. Oh, Classic. I don't know if you want to take this fight up the ramp. No, he's going to pull back. One Zealot does get shaved off. This is a very difficult angle to push up through. Maru, sieging and then unsieging, inching closer and closer to the natural expansion.
2 Colossi out. Oh, the
turrets
Zealots are
dropping.
coming. Oh my god, the center set micro is pretty good. The Colossi are really not doing damage to the majority of the units. Where's the Raven?
Oh, Raven just got taken out. It dropped a lot of auto turrets. Was able to get some damage done, and now Maru, he's going to be able to take down most of the production here. 3 gateways in a row, all disabled. The bio, it's low on HP, has been able to work his way into the natural expansion, though. Both siege tanks are still up. Classic, he's pulling the probes. He needs to go in for some kind of surround. One more production cycle might be enough for him to try and get this.
He's been split in half here. Oh, the Widow Mine sticking out all the probes.
I think Maru's done it. He's stutter stepping forward. The Colossus is gonna go down.
And it's all because the Raven got healed in the end. Maru gonna be moving on now into the round of 4, getting that second spot. The pylon is rebuilt, but the Robo is destroyed.
I don't think there's any way that Classic can muster the army that can take this down. He's gonna try. He's got 5 more Zealots, 4 more Stalkers. Half the production is offline right now for Protoss. The bio is very low on HP, but it's able to wedge itself in the Sim City of Classic.
Oh my god, there's like nothing in the whole Protoss's base is powered.
Classic cannot produce an army, and this is the worst angle to try to attack into with Zealots, adding insult to injury. Widow Mines burrowing, take down even more probes.
The problem is Protoss have to rely on these crystal things to power all this stuff. Have you noticed that?
It's a critical design failure.
Yeah, it's a
Blizzard,
huge design. Blizzard, they're relying on crystals. Floating crystals that pop like balloons when you shoot them. Wow, what a day. 2 Terrans are going to be advancing here. Classic runs his fingers through his hair and taps out with a GG.
Man, that Raven. It will prove to be the difference.
It was all about the Raven.
Maru.
You know, Classic's muttering himself. He says, I should have killed that Raven. Ah.
He stutter stepped the Stalker. He could have taken it down. Wow.
That was something else.
Man, what a play by Maru. That was an absolutely awesome series with some of the most unique games I have ever seen, especially, I mean, again, I think back to the 11-minute game with the 2 proxied gateways and how Maru survived that long. I mean, that was just incredible.
It was wild. Look, those were fantastic games. You can see Maru, it's like we were talking about some of these matchups. It seems like, right now, it seems like Protoss is kind of the Zerg of the game. They get big. It's hard to take them out. You have to know how to either grapple with the end game or prevent the end game from happening. And I think Maru went with some great builds here today to kind of stop Classic from doing what he does best, which is taking the whole map and being unstoppable. We're going to go to an interview now with Maru and see how he's feeling.
All right, Maru, congratulations on your victory. Well, today has been kind of a marathon for you. Every single series that you played went to a game number 3. I'm wondering, heading into the finals weekend, how are you feeling about your play overall? Is there anything specifically you need to work on?
일단 조선 선수 4강 진출 축하드리고요. 일단 오늘 되게 마라톤 같은 경기를 좀 뛰셨는데 1대1 경기를 좀 계속해서 보여주셨어요. 그래서 4강과 결승에 가시기 전에 좀 다듬어야 될 부분이 있다고 생각하는 부분이 있다면 좀 어떤 게 있을지 궁금합니다.
일단 토스전에 자신이 없어가지고 그냥 토스전만 잘 다듬으면 괜찮을 것 같습니다.
Yeah, my overall confidence in TVP was so low, so I think I'll need to improve on TVP, and I think I'll be fine.
Congratulations on advancing. What are your goals for this season? Do you think you can win?
이번 이제 4강에 올라가신 만큼 이번 대회에서도 우승을 목표로 하실 것 같은데 좀 이번 대회 목표가 좀 어떤지 궁금합니다.
목표는 원래 4강이었는데 여기 4강 와가지고 오랜만에 결승 가면 너무 좋을 것 같아서 목표는 우승일 것 같습니다.
Yeah, actually, my initial goal was making it to round of four, the offline. So that being said, I'm now in there. I'll try my best to lift the trophy.
Okay, well, congratulations to you and best of luck in the tournament.
네, 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
All right, guys. Well, that does it for tonight. We have our results. The Terrans survive. The Protoss and the Zerg fall here. But that's just Group A.
It's an entire entirely separate group waiting in the shadows.
There's a whole other letter in the alphabet for the next group. I can't wait.
They were all deceived for another group was forged.
That's
Group
right.
B.
Group B. How many groups could there possibly be? Actually, only 2.
This is Group B, folks. Shin, Zaun, Byeon, and Hero. It's going to be a really electric day here in Maru. As Jason said, already advancing into the round of 4. And tomorrow we're going to decide who's going to be joining them in the offline finals.
Okay, here you see it now. Some heavy hitters here. A group where I think the Protoss might be the strongest. I don't know. Zhao's looking very good. Byeon, honestly, actually, this is a tough one to call, too. I think Hero gets out first. That's an easy call. After that, I think it's a real toss-up. And by the way, that's going to be tomorrow, same time, same place. Wherever you're watching us right now, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah, this is the schedule right now for StarCraft 2. Today is Wednesday, the 6th of May. And tomorrow we're going to be having Group B take place, as Jason said, same time and same place. You can catch us here. Friday, going to have a day off, and then a little bit of RSL action, tasteless, and then
That's right.
the
Friday's,
GSL semifinals and finals on the 11th.
We took a break here for Friday for StarCraft Rumspringa, where you can actually go touch grass and decide if you want to come back and play.
And make sure on the 11th, guys, that you're going to get your tickets. Tickets are going to open at 5 p.m. KST. If you're used to when we go live, if you're watching live, that's about an hour and a half earlier than we typically start the GSL. Tickets are available about 1 week before the finals. The finals are going to be taking place on the 17th. And make sure you get those tickets as quickly as possible. I cannot emphasize this enough. The GSL tickets for the finals, they always sell out within a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Grab these immediately.
Yeah. You're not going to get in otherwise. So 5 p.m. KST, the ticket sales go live. We would love to see you down at the event, and that does have an audience, obviously. It was a dumb thing I said. All right, moving on. And I'm like, and the game they will be playing will be StarCraft 2, just so you guys all understand. I don't know, guys. Sorry, I've been casting a lot of matches here lately. If you want to support the GSL, you can sign up for Code A Basic, Code S Plus, depending on what you're willing to give and where you're at financially. GSL also has a Patreon, so see what makes sense for you and consider supporting.
Yeah, tons of perks available, as you see on screen, and these are the crowdfunding goals for the GSL in 2026. So you see on the screen, the main one for me, if we hit 10K, we're going to be having a GSL Season 3 later on this year, which I would be so happy to have.
Yeah. And, you know, we're going to see which goals we end up reaching there over the next couple days here. But anyways, guys, I'm looking forward to being back here with you, State, and you guys back at home, as we're going to cast Group B here and then find out who's going to be in the round of 4. State, any closing thoughts?
I want more StarCraft, man. Today was awesome. Let's come back again tomorrow.
All right, well, you're going to get it. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Incoming transmission.